you dealing with the X Factor. I got everything I ever wanted, and I'll never give that back. I know you hate X Factor, but you ain't gotta look at me like that. I said you ain't gotta look at me like that. Oh, what you looking at? Oh, what you looking at? Oh, what you looking at? What you looking at? You want to rhyme pulling stunts like that? See, never in my life, because I front like that. I ain't cut like that. I couldn't run like that. I'm going to keep it non-fiction and take my hat. Remember back when things looked grim? I spent a lot of money and time on wimps. Remember that crew. Remember the good times. Remember the orange, and I'll remember the sunshine. It's all gone. That's a thing of the past. The fact remains that it moves real fast. So while you sit around and hope things won't change, I'll be sitting pretty singing, hey, Pop, wait. I gotta tell you, baby, life's been good to me. And I know that makes you mad, cause that's something that you can't see. I got everything I ever wanted, and I'll never give that back. God damn. I know you hate X Factor, but you ain't gotta look at me like that. I said you ain't gotta look at me like that. Alright, man, there's a good chance I fucked this one up, so please bear with me for the takes. Since I can't delete voice messages from WhatsApp midway through, I'm gonna give it a shot.
Let's kick some ass.
Let's get our fucking shit together and kick some fucking ass!
And that was George Gatton with X Factor.
I wouldn't have known what song that was, but like the opening line is something with the X Factor.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, like if I hadn't known, to my defense, I didn't ask George what the song was. He actually just told me.
Yeah.
But we're gonna try and do this from now on where we don't know.
We just blindly go into them.
Yeah, because I don't think I would have guessed that besides the opening line there.
I don't even know what X Factor is. Like it's some Just Incredible thing, right?
It's Just Incredible, X-Pac, and Giant Bernard or Prince Albert.
Awesome.
Yeah, and Uncle Cracker sung that song.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was when when the ECW guys came over, and then the ECW thing was done, so they had to find some stuff to do with people. They threw X-Pac, Just Incredible.
They
and
look
Prince
like
Albert
brothers
together. Yeah,
they look like they could be brothers anyway. So
Kev, would you have recognized that song if you didn't know it was X Factor?
No.
It was
good. No,
it was really. It might have been like his longest one.
He usually puts the intro first. Like on these new WhatsApp ones, he always gives me like a little rebuttal first, and he gave it last, which I kind of like. Yeah, that we got it after.
It worked out nice.
So yeah, you're listening to Kickin' Ass.
Yeah, with Jesse
and Andy.
Brought to you by American Barbell Club.
Yeah,
ABC Strong. Check them out. They got amazing clothes, and amazing needs for your weightlifting needs.
Check it out. You got a bitch ass elbow. They got elbow sleeves. You got a bitch ass knee. They got knee sleeves.
Yeah, actually, with my shitty gimmicked wrist right now, I use the one strap. So I gimmick up my left wrist, and I can pump mad weights.
My entire body's gimmicked. So if they had an actual
knee wraps
suit that I could wear, I would wear that. Also brought to you by Fleshlight. We don't have an official sponsorship, but we're just going for it.
they're gonna sponsor Tug Time, and they sent us some really rad stuff.
Yeah, and also I'm just gonna say this: all of the talk about on this show. I got my endorsement back. They hit me up. They came crawling back.
It's the real deal.
They came crawling back.
We're back, babe.
Yeah. And,
check out onit.com.
I got to say one thing. The first thing that I wanted to talk about today is I love comebacks, cool comebacks. And I think one of the most inspiring wrestling stories in the last couple of years is Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that he left WWE and got super inspired by wrestling, lit the indies on fire. He wrestled everywhere, did everything.
Literally all over the world.
And it was awesome. And he was killer. And then came back to NXT, did his thing, had an unfortunate...
Became champion.
Yeah.
In no time.
But had an unfortunate injury.
Yeah.
And now he's back on the main roster. And to me, that is he'll never listen to this ever. But to me, that is super inspiring.
Pretty rad. Yeah.
Super cool. You should look at someone like that if you're in the wrestling business and you listen to this, you should always be inspired. Yeah, that's my thing right now.
Like you said, if there's a reason to be bummed or something like that, in wrestling, or really in like a lot of different aspects of life. Like that's a guy who got kicked while he was down and totally turned it around.
Yes.
And now he's back to where he wanted to be.
And I love that. I just love that story of just instead of just doing the usual like, well, I got 3 months to get those WWE bookings, and then just
see where we go from here.
Figure out what happens.
Yeah.
He just said screw that and did his thing, and now he's back, and he's back on the main roster, and that's really cool.
And he's all healed up too, right?
Yeah,
I didn't see it.
I mean, I'm sure he probably has like he might have a gimmicked up elbow sleeve on. He might have an American Barbell Club sleeve on his right arm.
Should we bring our guest in?
Oh yeah, we have a guest today.
Yeah.
Hi.
Allie. Allie's back.
Hi guys.
Yeah.
My wife, Laura Dennis
Ew.
Gilmet.
Ew. Why do you have to? I hate my full name. Why do you guys
Dennis.
say that?
LDG,
Dennis.
as he likes to call her. As he likes to call her.
Dennis-Gilmet. LDG as we call her. Yeah. Allie's back, and
Hey.
We're here to talk about this past weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
well, the past 2 weekends, she was at WrestleMania weekend.
Yep.
yeah.
So
Sure
you know
was.
she had a big weekend that week into a big weekend the next week. So
Yep.
Yeah, she's been like real busy lately.
Yeah. Lots
She's-
of traveling.
current Knockouts champion,
It's true.
Impact champ. She's got the belt right next to her right now in this weird little room. It's
Sure
kind of
do.
funny.
Yep.
She goes everywhere with it.
I do. I weightlift with it too.
Yeah,
So,
she just turns it around. It's really good back
yeah,
support.
exactly. So, yeah,
Yeah,
you know.
But it's Tuesday, and this past weekend, you guys are gonna listen on Thursday. This past weekend, we went to Los Angeles, California, and it was like it's crazy how like we were there for like 2, almost 3 days, but like everything cool we did was
I don't
like
even think we were there for 48 hours.
No, I don't think
It
so.
was like 46 hours.
Yeah, we like flew in,
Buffalo
Yeah, you're
took
right.
over
had
LA.
sort of a day,
Yeah.
and then we red-eyed home.
yeah.
So
And but everything cool we did was like jammed into like
yeah,
24 hours.
It was super fun.
Yeah.
That was a
like
really good.
that was like a huge
24,
day.
48
Fun for you
hours.
guys. It was fun when it was done. Yeah, I almost threw up that morning. And then right around 3 o'clock, I threw up again. I almost threw up again.
That does say a lot for me, like, because I'm actually like a nervous eater, and I like actually eat when I'm like stressed, and like even I had trouble like eating that day because there was like so much going on.
I think my stress came in the form of manically trying to find the right outfit.
Yeah.
All morning, which you
I called out on
on the Steve
It's a
Austin
Stone
podcast.
Cold Steve Austin podcast.
Yeah. So not eating and also looking for the perfect outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? Noon on Thursday. We went to Stone Cold Steve Austin's house.
His house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Met his dogs and
Yeah.
his wonderful wife.
Like
Yeah.
for me, like
Yeah.
I always say like the big two for me are like Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin are the two that I've never met. I've never even like seen them in person, like anything. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen and met Rock. I've seen and met Undertaker. Like I've seen and met Ric Flair. Like
Macho?
no,
Never Macho.
No.
Never had the
yep,
opportunity.
and I won't get to.
Yeah.
but he.
We can go
But
see his grave, though. Where's his grave?
I don't know, probably Florida.
We should probably go.
I'm into that.
I would love to do that.
But those are the two like I've never met, seen it. So like that, like the one of the two stories I tell when people have asked about it is like when you text him when we got, because we were about 15 minutes early. Nice and
Yeah.
professional.
Hey, you got to be early for stuff like that. Yeah.
But you shot him a text from the car to tell him like, hey man, we're here. And then we like sat in the car for a sec, and like just as we stepped out, you're like, "Oh, there he is!" And he was just like waiting at the end of the driveway for us.
Yeah.
And it was
Kevin, young Greenhorn, Kevin Bennett, he kind of started this like new thing where he explains exactly what he's talking about. And I kind of love it, where it's just like, professional wrestler, and then he'll say something like you're for instances lately of like,
are more detailed.
he gives like the exact detail of what he's talking about. Would you guys like to go to Toronto and have a professional wrestling? Yeah,
I like that a lot.
And it was really funny. So like I instantly I got out of the car and I just thought of him, and like I was like, "Hey guys, Stone Cold Steve Austin is over here."
Yeah,
Like just like it's like the only thing I can
so-
say is like standing in the street.
yeah,
So
yeah.
surreal.
It was a good
Yeah.
way to like
Yeah.
break the
Well,
ice.
here's the thing, and this is like a test to him. Like, I guess like in the entertainment world that all of us are in, or whatever like that, whether it's like music or wrestling, someone that high profile always has like a handler.
Yeah.
There's always like someone that takes care of them, not like takes care of them physically, but like it's always like
handles their stuff for them.
a dude will come out and be like, "Oh, Steve's this way. Like,
Right.
come on,
Yeah.
we're
And
going
it
to his
wasn't, it
house."
wasn't at all like that.
No.
It was him standing there. He was just playing on his cell phone waiting for us because he
Yeah.
wasn't right in front of us. He was like a couple, 3-4 doors down.
Yeah. And
No.
it was like that to me is like that just shows what kind of like man that guy is, where
Yeah.
he's just. No, I mean, I was pretty comfortable within like the first like 5
Yeah, oh,
minutes.
absolutely.
He literally could not have been cooler.
Yeah, he
Straight
was
up.
great.
Like he could
Yeah.
not have been nicer.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been cooler. And then like listening to the podcast, like he was just on fire. Like
Yeah.
listening to it back, it's like
funny.
whoa,
And I don't want to like
dude.
toot our own horns, but like I've never heard him on a podcast like that before, where he's just kind of just gunning like.
Yeah, he
that.
was like on all cylinders.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I mean,
And
and then the fact that
this
it
is
was-
noon. He wasn't drunk.
No, he had a Red Bull.
Yeah.
and offered us some waters. And
Yeah.
he like
Steve Austin also sits in a big video game chair.
that says Austin 316. I forgot. Yeah, because when we walked in, you go, "Oh, I wonder which chair is his."
Yeah. There's like 3 normal ass chairs, and like poor Nate had like the pimp chair in like a weird 1-star hotel. Like he had this like weird chair off to the side or whatever, and like Austin's chair is just like a monster truck, but like a
him.
chair.
Yeah.
and then I told him about it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm not a mark," and he just said like someone sent it to him for free, and like he got into this big story, but he has this gigantic Stone Cold Austin 316 video game chair.
It's so cool.
Yeah, but like I mean that was like because basically like I did want to give kudos to you because it was just supposed to be your podcast.
Yeah.
And you were nice enough to request me and her to do it with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
was
then,
very cool.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
when we got there, we still hadn't even gotten the okay yet. But like there was 4 microphones set up, so it was like, okay, like I
Yeah.
think this is cool.
I was like ramping them up all week. I was like, we got to make a good impression. We got to make an impression.
Yeah,
Yeah,
First impression.
which why do you think I was running around trying
Well,
to find
yeah.
the perfect outfit?
But I
was
mean-
like gluing eyelashes on at friggin', like 9 o'clock in the morning.
There was like at one point in time you had like you wore like a white shirt, right? You wore
Yes.
like a white button up. All right.
Yeah.
There was one point in time where you like had that shirt on and you were wearing like something long and you kind of looked like a pirate. And I was like, okay, yeah, LDG coming through with this pirate gimmick.
with the podcast, no one's gonna see you on.
But like that's the thing. If no one's ever met LDG, I'm going with LDG. If no one's ever met LDG before, she is like the most animated person. So like the whole time we're like doing the interview, she's like doing these like animated motions as she's like doing it. There's no camera. It's all just microphone. And she's like doing all these like movements. And I'm like, you insane person, just stay
Yeah.
in your chair
remember-
and just talk.
At first,
I'm actually crying.
at first you had like a black like cocktail dress. On.
Yeah. Like
It's like noon Thursday.
Hey, we're probably gonna hit some disgusting food before we go. We're
Yeah.
gonna drink about 9 coffees.
They're like talk about like too much.
Like we want to know. You just wanted to put over the fact that you were Knockouts champion. It's like,
Oh god.
Just you screaming on all five.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, this is all very true.
it was great though, because it was like I woke up at like 7 a.m. that morning
Yeah.
and instantly just like there was no like roll over. It was just like boom, I'm
Yeah,
awake.
awake.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
I gotta go. And like I've been doing these like. Just I was talking about this off, like my head's just not in the right place and I have shoulder surgery coming up, and so like I've been doing these like 15-minute walks in the morning just to kind of like get my head straight before just kind of like getting sun in, or well, there's no sun here, getting some ice in my eye before I get my day started. I just kind of like get the ball moving and kind of just motivate myself.
I mean, I will say in the hotel room, like, I mean, obviously you were really quiet when you woke up. I'm the same exact way.
Yeah.
But like when you came back, you were like very animated, and I was like, oh man, he perked right up.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
You got
smart.
it when you went for your walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got up. I went for a
Yeah.
walk. I came back and like, I think it's like, and this is definitely not mocking Teddy Hart at all, but I listened to like the Teddy Hart Jericho podcast and I was like, okay, just as soon as he hits play, don't start just rambling about your life
Yeah. Don't like
at all,
Yeah,
you know?
I know,
And
in
like
10 different directions.
Teddy Hart is is a shotgun blast at all times.
Yeah, in the nicest way possible.
Of course. So it was just like
shotgun blast in your face you
like,
could possibly imagine.
He sees that play button go, and it's just like, whoa, and it's just like, it's go time. And I was like, all right.
You don't even need a question.
As much as I would love to have Teddy Hart on our podcast, like I would love that. I was like, I don't want to be that. Like today, I can't. I gotta like hang. I gotta be cool and just like collected.
But you were fantastic.
I said like a lot.
No, but
we do that on here too.
Yeah.
But your stories were great. Like I thought you were fantastic.
It's funny you say that because like I like listening to these podcasts back. I noticed we say like all the time. But
I say it all the time.
When I honestly I didn't think that. I didn't even think that once. When
I didn't think so at all. I thought you sounded great.
When I started, there's something that I do guitar playing wise. I have this like wink to my like guitar picking. Sometimes I'll hit a note and it'll go wink. There'll be like this wink over the actual note.
Okay.
And I freak out over it.
Yeah.
Like it's like no joke. I guess if like Steve was in here, because Steve was the guy that had to like deal with it. Like when we recorded the record Hot Damn, Jordan had finals, so he went home.
Yeah, I heard the story.
Yeah, and Steve stayed there with me, and I don't know what it was about my guitar playing, but every single note had like this wink, like you could hear the pick scraping off the string.
Right.
Yeah.
No matter how thick the pick was, how thin the pick was, how I was sitting, how I was standing, it just like didn't matter. And it got me to a point of like anytime like poor Eric, Rachel would be like, all right, bud, let's do it again. I'd be like, if you fucking say it again, I'm going to punch you in your fucking face. And then like, okay, one more time. You know, like he would just like be really nice. And like, it got to a point where I was like, Jordan, I can't do this. Like as soon as you get done, you have to come back and like track all the guitars.
Yeah, to like drive to Jersey, right?
Yeah. And like, luckily, I mean, that dude, like, Jordan Buckley is like, he is one of the most dedicated people on earth to whatever he does. And he just, you know, got the minute his like pen left his like finals, he was like in a car driving back to Jersey because I was coming off the rails.
So like you call him and like they're like Andy's like ready to quit the band. Like,
oh yeah,
you could like come down here as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Like
I was like shaking, man.
So is it just the like you sort of being a perfectionist and,
a little bit,
and the pressure of like making
I mean it would have ruined the record.
I remember Keith even said like he's like,
because I feel like if you get too much in your head, then you just end up
of course
messing it up even
more.
Keith said it was like a noise where like you wouldn't like I probably wouldn't notice it, but if someone pointed it out to me,
of course.
then you hear it all the time.
So I was like really self-conscious of it like a lot. It doesn't happen anymore. Like I corrected it kind of, but like then I would like listen to Black Sabbath records with my like headphones in, and I would hear it every note. I'd be like, "Oh, cool."
It's okay.
So like the other day, I was like, "Oh man, I'm saying like," and it was just because I'm nervous. It's like a nervous tick.
Sure.
Listening to the podcast back, Austin started doing it, and I was like, "Oh, this is Tony Iommi. He's Tony Iommi-ing me right now. Like my favorite guitar player, now my favorite wrestler. Like you know what I mean? Like, dude, I was like,
it's totally okay.
I'm okay. I can say like,
yeah. But like I don't know, like just the fact that by the way, it's if you guys are listening, this is going to drop on Thursday. Our second, we did a 2-parter, which is fucking badass. It was our Steve Austin Show podcast is 2 parts. The first part came out today, which is Tuesday, but you guys are listening on Thursday. The second part's going to drop on Thursday.
Well, and I felt like the conversation, you know, when we were sitting there, nothing felt forced.
Yeah, like
It
I
felt
mean,
like
I like to
Of
think,
course.
I like to
normal
think he had a good,
conversation.
he had a good time.
Well, and the fact that it went into 2 parts, you know, because we were all just talking, and it was very normal, and you know, I think that it went really well.
Yeah, I love that's my type of like interview though is just a
conversation.
100%.
And that's where I got to, and it was. I remember like after when we were like talking about it, none of my stories finished. Like it would always go like, hold on, let's talk about that for a second. And then like
I said he was just firing. Like, that's like, the only one that was like right at the beginning was when he put himself over for being, was it the 1990 Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, it was
I remember.
1990.
And then you brought up being runner-up Rookie of the Year this past year.
he no-sold me.
And Because you can tell he was just trying to like lead the conversation and be the host, and yeah, that really went in one ear and out the other. He just kept
whatever.
going.
He was good. I think that was like right in the beginning too. So we still haven't like settled into like a rapport and like once the joke started going, I think it was like he understood that it was like time to go.
I mean, I think I can remember every single one of his jokes. They were fucking the his big icebreaker at the beginning was when you asked him how his body felt, and then he said pretty good. Like if a 10 is bad, I might like a 0 or 1. And then he goes, let me just grab another Vike, and then there was like a second of silence.
Yeah,
and then
I literally turned and looked at Andy. Like I was just like, how do I react to this? Andy, help me.
Yeah. But and even me, I was like,
we were looking at each other
like, is he gonna pull a pill out? Like I like legit was like, I don't know. Like he might just pull a pill out.
How do I react to this? what do I do? And then we all started laughing.
And then one of my favorite highlights was his second joke was like, this is the two. He was really big on like throwback jokes.
Yeah.
He would pull stuff back from what we already talked about earlier, and we talked about me being a big WWE fan and you being a big WCW fan, and you said, Andy, you could take the stairs or the window, like get out of here. And then later, that's when he said he wasn't a big Led Zeppelin fan. He said, like 3 songs. You're like, Steve, you can take the stairs or the window, and he goes, hey rookie, how about I'll reverse that and fucking whatever.
Yeah.
But then so the whole table popped. I was like sitting to his right, and he leaned over and slapped me on the shoulder.
And then he fist bumped me. I mean, if there's no chance that Stone Cold listens to this, but like, there's like, I'm gonna always say that anytime like Drew McIntyre's not gonna listen to this. Stone Cold, he's probably gonna listen to this. But like, we're marking out right now. Like I fist dabbed Stone Cold on a joke about me. Like he was shitting on me, and I was like, okay, bud.
He popped me with his joke so hard he leaned over and slapped me on the arm.
There was like there was another one too where like something happened. You guys, I think it was like when you guys were talking about how you guys got married and stuff like that, and he just goes, "Andy, you there? You were there? Huh? You with us?" Like that, and I was just like, "Yeah, man, I'm here." Like I didn't know how to respond. I was like, "Yeah, I'm here."
You're talking about marriage. I don't know. Like,
And I honestly think he thought I was gay. Because I didn't know what to do with my hands. So the whole time you guys were talking, I was like putting my hand on my face, and I was just like looking at him, and I was like uncomfortable. And in my head, I imagined Madonna voguing.
Yeah.
So I was just like, just sitting there staring at him
moving around
with like a weird, creepy smile, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. You're so funny, Steve.
If I had hair, I would throw it back.
The entire time that this podcast is going on, his dog was under the table licking my leg.
Yes, his dogs are
licking
it's a
my
big conversation.
leg. So the entire time I'm trying to sit there and be natural, but I'm lifting my legs in the air, and like my feet are going left and right.
You can no one would notice it, but like you can catch it a couple times. Like you'll hear the dog bark in the background. You hear like his fingers snap because he was always like snapping the dog.
And like Brody King, Nate was like there with us.
Yeah, thank God.
And was basically like babysitting the dog. At one point in time, I'm looking over and the dog is just, he has the rug in his mouth, and he's like tearing the rug up, and then like Nate's like, what do? I don't know what to do. Is it cool if the dog does this? Is it not cool if the dog does this? Like the whole time Nate was there, and it was just
it was good. Yeah, it was
me and Nate like dressed exactly the same. Like black
we
shirts.
Brought that up when you were talking about Laura's dress.
Yeah,
you
green
Nate,
pants.
Like, twins.
He like walked in, and I was like, oh. And then he goes, well, we dressed exactly the same. It's like, these are the only pair of pants I have, bud. I'm not wearing sweatpants.
His dog just running around super energized the whole time.
So fun.
But I'm fast forwarding, but like my other highlight was when we were done and we'd already wrapped up. Another, to his credit, another one was like, my mindset when we were done was like, all right, I don't want to like,
let's get out of his hair.
I don't want to overstay our welcome here because his wife had come over. And, but I mean, literally, they did not rush us out of there like at all.
No.
They were just chilling. And then, so for small talk, I was like, yeah, I know we're going to go out and get Hawaiian food. Have you guys ever had Hawaiian food? Like, have you ever heard of this place? Blah, blah, blah. And then like they started like going back and forth, and she goes, oh yeah, Steve, they catered your beer thing. And he goes, I was all fucked up, I don't remember. And then she starts laughing.
Like that
was amazing.
Like a question I wanted to ask him on air, I asked him off, was like, I was like, okay man, so you tear your tricep, you finish working at WCW, you get fired,
we talked
they
about
let
that
you go,
after,
whatever like that. Why didn't you go to Japan? And he was like, oh, I thought about Japan, but I wanted to be here. And it was like, that makes total sense. And it like, I don't know what dudes make over there.
Yeah.
But he was just like, you know, he goes, for all the work of just staying in Japan and being there
Yeah.
instead of here is like, you know, it's more risk than reward kind of situation. And I was like, man, I wish I would have got that on air. Because me and Jesse kind of made a conscious effort to make sure that we were the engaging ones in the conversation.
Yeah.
And it was almost like not him asking us questions, because sometimes Stone Cold can get really questiony. You know what I mean? He just stays, and like the people just sit there, and like if you listen to, like, I always talk about X-Pac on now, how X-Pac is now, where like X-Pac is...
I haven't listened. You said he comes off like real
dude, he's
intelligent, right?
Intelligent as hell. And it's like, I think the same thing. I think he's a little nervous sometimes too. So when he's on the Austin podcast, Austin's just asking questions. He's just answering.
Yeah.
There's not really that like banter. And like, oh fuck, I really wanted to do this too, because I love the X-Pac interviews are my favorite on his podcast. And
when X-Pac's on Austin's podcast?
Yeah. So he always calls him, like, he always goes like, yeah, Steve.
Yeah.
You know, like he always says like, yeah, Steve. And I wanted to do that so bad. Like every time he asks me a question, like, well, Steve, you know, blah, 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 and do it just to like tip my hat at X-Pac.
Shit. That's,
but sometimes, like,
about.
you know, like I said, Austin can be very questiony.
Good. Well, like, to his credit, like, he had a notepad
For sure.
and
Yeah.
like
He did his homework.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did his homework about you, and like he really,
I think he had his homework on all of us. Maybe not LDG, but like
he didn't know about the champ, but that's all right.
but that's okay. But so like
He comes prepared, so it's cool.
yeah, and it's like I said, I didn't want to get like right away. I was like, let's just ask him questions.
Yeah.
So like, you know, if it's in there, we can always bring it back to us, kind of like dictating the conversation, of making it a conversation instead of it being questiony.
Yeah, and
You know
like
what I mean?
we're just sitting there staring at him, waiting for him to ask questions.
And plus, it's got to be kind of hard to have like a podcast like where there's 3 guests.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why, like, because like I said, it was supposed to be your spot originally, so like I really tried not to talk over you,
Dude.
And like, yeah, like, I feel like we did a good job of not all talking over each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
I had
for sure.
like definite, just to tell you guys now, I had definitely had triggers in my head to go back to you guys. And like, if you go back and you listen to it, it's like right away I was like, well, he was training with Les Thatcher.
Yeah.
Like trying to feed him.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Like stuff like that, where it's like, okay, well, hey, this is Impact Champion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if he didn't say it right away, it's like, all right, let's feed it where
So he
now
knows.
it becomes all of us. And that was like the big thing. I was like, I knew that as soon as he knew you were trained by Les,
Yeah.
there's something he can talk about there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
what
it's
I
funny.
mean?
Like, I wanted to get into that more, but then I ended up asking him about, because he was surprised how long I'd been wrestling for.
Yeah.
And like that to me is always like, I've been wrestling almost 20 years. His career was shorter than mine. That always
13.
weirds me out. Yeah.
Hey,
so like,
this is what I always say about every time I die. We don't have anything over the Beatles except for the fact that we've lasted twice as long.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty badass.
So,
It's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a real good point.
but they're still the Beatles.
I know. I was thinking to myself, it's like, I should have made the joke of like, you made so much more money than I have. Like,
yeah, it's like
in such a
13
short amount of
years over
time.
20. I'm gonna have to work for 20 more years.
Yeah. I got a long ways to go, man.
Yeah.
But when we first walked up to him in his driveway too, like you beelined it right to him. You got to him first.
Yeah.
And then just you kind of like said hello to him. And then when we got up to him, like he does like the real, it's like a wrestling thing, but like a Southern thing too, where like he really shakes your hand and says, "Hey, I'm Steve," and like looks you right in the eyes.
Yeah.
And like, especially when you have like numerous people to say hello to, like he really took his time.
Yeah.
And then he was like, he asked you something about wrestling. Then he asked you, what are you doing in town? And you told him about the show, and there was a pause, and he goes, "What the fuck you doing wrestling?"
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Hey. So yeah, that was it. We did the Austin podcast, and it was insane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was crazy.
That was just like an unreal day.
Yeah.
It was a good day. It was a really good day.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all of us.
And like once it was done, you guys don't get nervous about this shit. I get so nervous about wrestling because that's like that. Honestly, if you like put it on paper, that was my biggest match. Like I wrestled an Impact dude. I wrestled like a dude that's known in the world for like his dick flip, and he's been wrestling for forever.
Joey Ryan, and it's his show, his promotion.
Yeah, and Johnny Goodtimes making his like comeback.
Yeah.
to like like Southern California wrestling.
Yeah.
And this is like if you haven't heard of Johnny Goodtime, he was like Son of Madness on the last season of Lucha Underground, and
He's an old school PWG.
he's like an
too,
old
right?
like PWG dude. And like as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh yeah, like just because of his work, like what he did before in PWG, he's like really creative and like and that's not saying anything. Obviously, like one dude does a dick flip, so that's like super creative.
Yeah.
Right,
And then
right.
Eli Drake on top of that is like this charismatic, like, and then that Eli Drake, if you listen to this, he probably doesn't listen to this,
Probably not.
but if you listen to this, like that made me so excited to see how excited he was to call a match.
Yeah, you said
it made me so happy. Like, and Nate gets like really excited to call a match too.
Yeah,
and
he
really
does.
animated and really like, and that brings me like, it makes me think of like working in Smash because like Stu and Uno get really animated and really excited about calling their matches. So like once I was like, okay, this is gonna be fun. Like, but I was shitting bricks.
You were nervous at the Hawaiian place.
I didn't eat that whole day.
Yeah.
I didn't eat that whole
I could
day.
tell, but your energy was like different. 'Cause
Yeah.
You were nervous.
And like,
I fucked myself up because we went to Starbucks twice before
can we
noon
also,
at Austin's house.
Can we also talk about how both Andy and I were stressing because we hadn't gone to the bathroom, so we went to Starbucks, and I had just finished a venti Americano, and then went back to Starbucks, and me and Andy both got coffees. Did you get another?
I didn't get a coffee. I just got oatmeal. Yeah.
Oh, I got oatmeal too, and I got another coffee, and I essentially it was because I was so stressed that I hadn't gone to the bathroom.
I
so.
went as safe as possible. That
TMI,
morning.
but
Like I had my coffee. Like when we got coffee at the hotel.
Yeah.
I drank that coffee and I was like, that's it. That's all I can do. I don't want to be a spaz.
yeah.
2, like I need to put something in my body because if I had like a quad shot like of like flat white.
Oh yeah.
The Andy Williams is it's a soy flat white with 4 shots
of espresso.
of espresso. So like I knew I had that. I'm like, oh my god, poop is gonna come. And obviously, if you guys are listening to this podcast and you're familiar with this podcast, I shit a lot. And I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be sitting there, and then like
Your worst nightmare was
I'm
having
gonna
to
get
go
the
at
poop
his
sweat.
house, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I just was like, all right.
Yeah.
Well, when we stopped at Starbucks before, I was like, I gotta get this out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like just forced myself to poop, which is terrible. And then I was okay. And there was a point in time where he had to take a phone call.
Yeah.
And I had to pee so bad at that point. I was so
twice.
happy. Mind you, and this sucks because his phone was like sitting right there.
Yeah.
Like Diamond Dallas Page called him.
Oh, was it?
And like not that time, but like DDP called him like in the middle of it. And I was just like,
I definitely peeked. The couple times I peeked over, it was like a number. It didn't have a name
yeah,
to it.
DDP.
You
It
guys
just said
listen to you two.
It was
right in front of my face.
It was right next to me,
mine too,
and
and I did not look.
You can hear it going off during the podcast.
Yeah.
You can hear it vibrating. Yeah.
I didn't want it to be my phone. They like made it very like airplane mode on.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I
then
put mine in
doesn't-
airplane
Except Steve.
yeah, except for Steve Austin.
He's gonna leave it right over here by the microphone, so when it goes off, you can hear it.
Yeah. So like Dallas Page called, and then I was trying to be nice, and I guess this kind of seems pretty creepy. Like after, like I sent him the picture that we took, and then during, I don't know if it was on air or if it was after, he like talked about how Dallas Page has dyslexia.
Oh yeah.
And I have dyslexia, but there's like there's like this common misdiagnosis, and it's this stuff. It's called like Illier syndrome. So basically, some people don't have the colorway in their eye to see white and black, or to register what's on black and white. So like a normal like sheet of paper that you would write on doesn't register some people's eyes. So what they do now is it Elner? Anyways, they put rose-colored filament paper over
I
a
did
thing.
hear you talking
And
about
then-
this.
Yeah, when you read on it, or when you read it over red and black,
Yeah.
like kids' grades have went up
Holy shit.
from
that's
that because it
interesting.
registers to their eye.
That's pretty sweet.
Like for me, like if I read a book, it takes me probably twice as long to read a book as like you guys, because like when I read a book, I have to go back and keep like reading it
over.
like read a
Yeah.
page, read it again, read
Yeah.
a page, read it again. Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't sit there.
Yeah.
So like after I like texted him, I was like, hey man, just in case, here's this like I read this this article about this thing. You should give this to Diamond Dallas Page, and blah, blah, blah. And he just wrote back, hey, man, next time you're in L.A., man, hit me up. Like, that was it. I was like, man.
Come on. Put a lot of thought into that.
Yeah, I was like really trying to be helpful.
Yeah,
DDP, if you're listening, you're probably not listening.
Yeah. But check it out.
You should check it out, man.
It's a good article, a good read.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
But, it just seems like kind of creepy. I remember like years ago, what the hell? Harlan Williams, the stand-up comedian.
I love Harlan.
He's from Toronto.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he was coming to Buffalo to do stand-up. This is probably 10 years ago. And I got a hold of his like management's like email, and I said, hey, you guys manage Harlan Williams. If you guys are interested, me and a group of my friends are going to go to the show. If Harlan wants to see Buffalo or like get food or something like that, let me know, blah, blah, blah. I play in this band. I know how it is. And the dude just wrote back, wow, this is creepy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That
And I was like,
stinks.
hey, thanks, Harlan Williams. Because it was probably just him. I don't know if he has he probably has an agent, but
Yeah.
Oh,
It
that's
does
so
sound-
I hate that, like, because then you come off like you're being creepy, but you're not.
yeah.
You
I was
just
trying to
know
be
what
nice.
it's like.
That's when I
Yeah.
kind of stopped. I don't ever do that again.
Yeah, that's like, that'll
Yeah.
shut you down.
Until
for-
Steve Austin. Harlan Williams, if you're listening to this, which you're probably not listening,
I had good intentions.
go fuck yourself.
Oh, shit. But yeah, the bar wrestling. Well, I was gonna say earlier was just getting the 2 Starbucks before the podcast, and then like trying to eat Hawaiian food afterwards. But like I had such a nervous stomach.
Yeah.
Like I was just. I mean, I remember I pissed hard right before the podcast started. Then I was lucky enough. I mean, you were more the main guest, so I kind of ran off and took a piss during
Yeah.
the podcast.
And they started.
Yeah,
And he just riffed.
and I just
like, yeah, he can catch up.
just made it happen. And then like just being in LA, like I think from a nervous stomach I had to piss hard all day from
Yeah.
those coffees.
Yeah.
And
And I
then
remember we got stuck in
we're stuck in
traffic.
traffic. And I was
Yeah.
just like, man, this
I
is
crashed
just
so hard on the way to the show. I
Yeah.
had to crack open an energy drink. I had
Yeah.
a venti, another venti, and then an energy drink, and then half a bag of Sour Patch Kids.
I was just, you guys took the rental and I went with Nate, and like I drank so much water.
Yeah.
Like, cause I realized I wasn't drinking water.
Because
Like,
you started to get that headache. I started
Yeah.
to get like a real bad headache.
I was stressed out. So there was like, I felt like now like my dog shakes sometimes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if my dog has a migraine like I do. Like if he's just stressed out, like he's just so tense and then his like brain just starts hurting.
Yeah.
Like, man, that sucks. I want to calm my little guy down now because
it's
I
like
know
there's-
how my brain
They
is.
can't tell you.
I felt like Bigelow the entire day.
Yeah.
Once
I don't know. Once the podcast was over, I think I felt fine. After
Yeah, you
that.
were like, that's
like,
okay. And you're like, I'm working this girl, Chris Wolf. And then like for me, I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna botch everything. I'm gonna do this. And like that's the one thing that I want to like talk about with calling the match is that I'm pretty injured right now. Like my right arm is very limited, and Jesse on the call, I could tell you were angling to get me away from like the really extreme shit.
Yeah. Well,
So-
because originally Joey was talking about doing the gimmicky dick stuff with me at the beginning, and then
me
you
running the
running like
spot.
wrestling stuff with Eli.
Yeah.
And I mean, your injury and just in general, I think. I mean, it worked out better that way.
Of course,
But it was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you're the fucking main focus here.
Yeah.
You do the dick stuff. I'll do the fight. I mean, I work well with Eli too. So like,
Yeah.
I'll do the wrestling stuff. And
Yeah.
it worked out better.
So yeah, it was just like, and I could tell like as soon as he said it, I was like, oh man, he's angling to get me away from this stuff because it might just fail miserably. And like I feel like I could have done that shine on that.
Yeah,
would
no
have been
problem.
fine, but it would have just. I don't know. Like the chance of me like getting hurt on like an arm drag or something
Yeah.
like that. It's like a
Plus-
serious
It's not
thing.
worth it,
And plus,
honestly.
just as far as working smarter, not harder. It's like you've never worked with Eli before.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if Joey, if you can't do Joey Ryan stuff, like
Yeah.
you
How
should probably.
much fun is working
It's
with Joey
insane.
Ryan?
It was
worked
so
him
fun.
I worked him on Sunday. Was
Yeah.
it Sunday with
Yeah.
Smash?
Yeah.
And I requested that I wanted to take the dick flip.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was like, this is the greatest
It's so
thing ever.
fun.
It's so fun. He's fantastic.
I do want to say, like, same token to like to bar wrestling, just as Austin's podcast, like bar wrestling could not have possibly been any more fun.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Holy fuck,
that
man.
crowd was, there's no chairs. They're just standing up against the ring and they're so loud.
Yeah.
And just like there was one spot where I ended up flying out of the ring and they all just like, it was like they just like
Like it's parts.
separated
Yeah.
and parted so you could like land.
Yeah.
And
Joey-
it was awesome.
So like Joey, he's the promoter of that show, and he did that show. He went to Chicago, wrestled in Chicago.
Yeah, then
went
Dallas.
to Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
From Dallas, Texas to Toronto.
Yeah.
And then somewhere else. I think he had like one other thing, or I'm thinking like it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah, like that.
Oh,
and then,
you did bar wrestling, then Chicago,
then
then
Dallas,
then
then
Toronto.
so I'm pretty sure he was probably in a fog, and just coming off of WrestleMania weekend.
I think
Yeah,
that's what
I
I think
mean-
he was just really tired.
Because I
from
went
New
up to him
Orleans.
after
Yeah.
and I like gave him a hug and I said, dude, this is honestly what wrestling is to me. Like,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
anything else. Like this
This
vibe
is what you want to do.
was exactly. If I could work that show 3 days a week for the rest of my life or the rest of my like wrestling career, I would do that. Like,
Yeah.
just the vibe on it is just like there wasn't like Sean Scoville was there. Like he's kind of like people think like with the smart mark, it's the hot tub guy.
Yeah.
But he's not at all like that at all. He just likes wrestling that much.
Yeah.
Right. And like I saw people from PWG there.
Yeah.
But the crowd isn't that crowd.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Like-
they're all there to have fun.
To have fun.
Yeah, like,
it's
that's
not
the impression
it's not
I
the
got.
same. So like
Yeah.
every single match had a great reaction.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every match had and it's like I remember honestly being terrified and like the lastly we like me and Eli like ran one thing like last minute at towards like the end of the match. So I was like, oh man, now I gotta like think of this, and I just want to make sure that I'm in place, and I'm talking Eli's ear off, and I can tell, it's like, dude, I'm sorry, but like, can we please just go over these two things? Like, I don't want to like miss it. I want to make
Right.
sure I'm there.
Yeah.
And then I just told him, I was like, dude, I'm really nervous, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Whatever. He was really cool. But like all that stuff in the beginning, I had no idea what I was going to do. I didn't know, because like Joey kind of made it. He was like, it's not really like a bad guy, good guy thing.
Yeah.
It's aggressor and then less aggressive
Yep.
type of thing, right? So it's like, I'm going to go out there. And the first thing he says is he goes, hey, man, like, we got to put over the fact that you don't want to touch my dick.
Yeah.
We can't do it homophobic.
Yeah.
And like,
I remember you said
I
that.
never would do that.
But he says he's like,
But he has to say it.
yeah, because
You
the
have to
time
vocalize it.
I don't say it, someone's gonna
Someone's
do
gonna
it,
do
go
it.
overboard.
Right.
Yeah, and like, so I'm sitting there, I'm like, I kind of have to be animated. I didn't want him to like completely eat me up at the beginning.
Yep.
Like with, like,
Chain wrestling.
nope. With being charismatic.
Oh,
you know what
yeah.
I mean? So I was like, all right, I can be charismatic, but still put the shine on him.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, literally, like, our music hit. I walked through the thing. I was like, well, I'll try this. Like, it was just like, that's where the idea came up. And then I just made it like, and I didn't know if, because he quieted the crowd down to ask me if I wanted to touch his dick.
Yeah, that's exactly like very first thing.
Yeah, and I didn't know if they would do the same for me, like, because you know how sometimes, like, the heel the crowd will just eat the heel up,
Yep.
and I tell the crowd to chill out, and they just dead quiet.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit,
They were there the whole time.
And literally, it was just I just put over the fact it's like I'm a rock star. I'm a musician,
Yeah,
and I'm trying
You want to be taken
to be
serious
taken
as a wrestler.
seriously as a wrestler, and I'm here to wrestle. I'm not playing dick games. And then immediately they're like, just the tip. They like, just the tip chat. And I was like, okay, this is perfect.
Yeah.
That was I said I was one of my favorite parts of the match was me, you, and Brody King's entrance, and it was like,
Yeah.
for me, it was like as soon as we walked through the curtain, and like I love that like I don't know what I mean, as we walked through the curtain, the fans were right there. There was no
very
entranceway.
Kumite.
Yeah, it was fucking. It's just like not like I don't want to say rabid, but like just very like
Like high
energetic.
energy.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
but
like
you're
this-
with the people immediately.
Yeah, and it was like,
Yeah.
and then like, as soon as I was like in that 20 seconds, like we went through the curtain, through the people a little bit, and got in the crowd. I was like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like these are the like. So I'm trying to like change some stuff as far as like indie shows, and it was like that's the kind of shit I want to do, man.
Yeah.
But
it's
I
so
thought
fun.
you guys looked the three of you together looked like such a good cohesive like unit.
Yeah.
You guys looked great together.
It was just so fun.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it was. I mean, the show was sold out around like 400 people, and like
Yeah.
it was fucking.
It was so much
couldn't.
fun.
It couldn't have been
Yeah.
funner.
And like it was like I said, like after like people coming up to me and they're just like, man, great match. You know what I mean? And it's like, hey, thanks, man. You know,
had a
like
good time,
it
too.
was just like that was a really fun match. And like at the end, like selling the dick flip, and like me and you were talking about how I wanted to do the like the sizzling bacon.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to do like the over the top like
Like
back
a Twitch sell almost.
and then all I did, like, I just had to sell up for the lollipop or whatever like
yeah.
that. So I sold up to the knee, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
or whatever like that. And then later that night, Danny Garcia goes, I sent him like the 3 clips that I had or whatever, and he was like, because Danny's like super against the dick flip, and it's not because he's homophobic. It's just he's very like all Japan wrestler, right? So he just goes, man, I love the way you sell. Like I love the way you
Shit,
feed.
you told me this. Yeah, there you go.
I love the way you feed after a bump.
Yeah.
And I was like, thanks, man. It like, meant a lot.
But yeah, I mean that whole show, like top to bottom, the crowd was just they were there the whole time.
Yeah, it was so cool.
It was super
Yeah.
fun, and we got to meet one of our friends, Drewski. He came out
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Props to Drewski making the trip.
making the trip.
Yeah, he got us like, it was like, he got what, two
you-
flats of water.
Two
Yeah.
2 cases of water for the boys, and he put a note on top of there like thanks for like what you guys are doing to your bodies,
Yeah.
like this whole thing,
and like
then,
a case of Bang Energy.
and then a
drink.
case of Bang energy drinks.
Yeah.
Maybe
which-
2. They got,
Yeah, there was a lot.
There was a lot.
Eli
it was
Drake.
It was super super.
Eli
cool
Drake
of them.
left with like 5 in his pocket, so like it was there.
Yeah, it was
they were-
it was very cool of him, and it was nice to meet him after how
Yeah.
many years.
Yeah,
we've
we've
known him.
he first started hitting us up when
we did
we were
the
doing
Hoots podcast.
the Bullet Club podcast,
Yeah.
and he's been hitting us up on Twitter ever since then. So it's been years. So that was our first time meeting him. It was really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
it was
Good
awesome.
dude. And then, like you said, a lot of your SoCal friends came out too, right?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like Martine from Terror, like he was there. My buddy Loomis. Mark Jackson, original drummer for Throwdown,
Oh yeah.
was there, which is like the coolest thing in the world.
It's-
Yeah, my friend Anna showed up. Like it was just like cool to see like people there. You know what I mean? Like
course,
because you
yeah.
don't know, like, I don't wrestle on the West Coast. You guys,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you guys don't wrestle on the West Coast.
Yeah,
all
we
that
don't really
much.
wrestle that much.
So like to see people like come for you is like
it is. It's
really
very
cool, right?
Yeah, it's cool.
yeah. I guess I mean, it's not really that big of a bummer, but we were supposed to do the Jamie Johnson podcast.
Dude, I feel so
I've
bummed.
literally been supposed to do his podcast for like the last
Yeah.
2 years. It just hasn't.
It'll get sorted
It'll
out.
happen.
Yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
happen for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, he's always on tour, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got what we were supposed to do it Wednesday night, but
Yeah.
we got delayed a little bit.
But even honestly, you
There was
guys,
no time.
like,
It was impossible.
like, yo, when we landed, I felt like I was on Mars.
yeah,
I was like,
that would have been a good podcast.
Like, oh
yeah,
my god.
it's probably better it didn't happen.
Like, oh my god, when we landed and you like leaned in and you were like, yeah, it's not gonna happen. Like there was a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
part of me that
Oh,
was
of
like,
course.
oh
I mean, same here
dear
because
God,
it was like
dear
late. But like, hats off to Jamie. Jamie was like willing to like
Yeah,
go
yeah, very
like
cool.
because we were still gonna get in at like 9:30,
Yeah.
and he was gonna come do this podcast. We were gonna do Jason versus Freddie.
Yeah.
Or Freddie
Yes.
versus Jason.
Yeah.
Like,
we
Okay,
wouldn't
yeah.
have even. It would have been at least 11 p.m.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he was
Started.
still down. It's just like when we got in. We got to the hotel at like midnight.
It was late, yeah.
Yeah.
And even like that's one of my favorite like horror movies. And
Yeah.
I honestly would have even been able to tell you
Yeah.
anything that happens in that movie.
And then the next day, he was like constantly. I was like, I didn't know how long. I didn't think Austin was gonna keep us in there for 2.5 hours.
I mean, the podcast was a little over 2 hours, but we were probably there for
3.
Like 3
At
hours.
least 3, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then get
And like
lunch.
then Jamie was like, "Oh, how did everything go?" And I was just texting him back. I was like, "Dude, I think I'm gonna throw up." Blah, blah.
Still
and
gotta
then,
wrestle later.
Yeah.
and I, like there was just no time.
It was
With traffic, there was
impossible.
0 time.
Yeah.
It
Okay,
sucked.
but can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
So, what did you guys think of the vegan Cuban food?
I still have indigestion over it.
Oh
it was
my
good.
God.
It
Super
tastes
sick
great.
of
Not I wouldn't say
Yeah,
sick,
but-
but like
Oh,
it,
it just
they,
indigested.
they had this. They
well,
had
you're
this
like
like.
shitting water.
Well, not. I don't think it was from that.
Oh, okay.
I think it was just like probably
All the-
like
probably all the
3
caffeine,
days of
nerves,
3 days of
travel.
nerves just
Yeah.
made my body lava.
Flying across the country, time
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
And like they have this like with yuca. Yuca's
Oh,
a,
it's so good.
but it's like a large. I don't know, like
It's
kind
like
of
a
a potato.
potato. Yeah, it's
So
like a
like
potato.
with yuca, they give you this like citrus garlic
Garlic.
sauce.
Yeah.
And it just it gave me the worst heartburn. Gave me like heartburn like 3 days.
Those are those things that they kind of look like fries. Right?
Yeah.
Like fries, yeah, but then the plantains, and it's like nacho plantain.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was delicious. I same thing with like
good.
with Nate. Like I feel bad because Nate took us to Ruts Hawaiian food.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
good.
And like, but I had no appetite at all, you know? And like, he was like, oh man, you know, one of my biggest pet peeves is like when I tell someone you should try this and they don't get that. and I was like, dude, honestly, if I ate that right now, I would throw up.
We both just got something real basic like chicken and rice.
I got like literally like teriyaki beef, rice, and broccoli.
Yes,
Yeah.
but the next morning, you guys really made up for it by eating your
Breakfast.
weight in like pancakes.
Oh my
And
God.
My
I was
favorite
sleepy.
my favorite thing is Andy orders like this big ass breakfast, like that comes with pancakes. Actually, I think he ordered pancakes on the side, and then Jess gets his meal and it has potatoes, and he's like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna get a side of potatoes
Yeah.
as well. Like literally, the whole table was just filled with food.
Yeah.
And then when I thought you guys were done eating, like Jess leans over and he's like, "Oh, Boo, can you hand me that pancake?"
Yeah.
And he eats a pancake. I couldn't even believe
I remember,
it.
like, it was funny too because that morning, like, so my girlfriend Hannah flew. She's from like Sacramento area. She flew down to L.A. Got there at like 5:30. Like we had to. What was call time that day? 6.
6.
She got there at 7:30.
Yeah, she came straight from the airport. Right?
Yeah, and like showed up straight from the airport. So like, and
by the way, absolutely gorgeous. Like how she
thanks.
gets off an airplane and looks like that.
I don't want
It's
to. I
just
got to put Jesse on the spot here for a second. So we're like eating. I'll go to the breakfast.
I know where this
So like we're, you know, I get to see my girlfriend for like 30 minutes, and then have to go in the back and kind of like start calling things. We had like the 4th match that day, and the ball was about to start get rolling. She's like, "Oh, I'll just stay by the merch. It's fine." So she like sat behind the merch table and stuff like that. So. And mind you, this is her first wrestling experience.
Yeah.
By herself.
Yeah.
She doesn't know
bar
anyone.
wrestling. Yeah.
So like
Zero.
Tyler Bateman, I like told her that like my biggest, so like Hannah's moving to LA, so I'm gonna be spending a lot of time in LA, like off and on. So obviously like Nate lives out there, and Nate's like one of my best buds, so I'm gonna hang with Nate all the time. But my like for wrestling aspirations, I really like Tyler Bateman, this like dude from out there, and he has like a top hat kind of like Bill the Butcher gimmick.
Yeah.
And you know, I know that creatively we could do some really cool shit. So like it wasn't even Nate that I told about Hannah moving to LA first.
Yeah.
I hit Tyler Bateman up. I was like, "Hey man, my girlfriend's moving to LA. I think we can do some really cool shit together, blah blah blah." And like so, and then he goes, "Well, what do you have in mind?" And I was like, literally nothing. Just the fact that I like you as a wrestler, and I, you know, blah, 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 and we have mutual friends and blah, blah, blah. So hats off to him. I literally told Hannah about him. I was like, "Oh, there's this dude. He's got like this curly mustache. Oh man, I want to wrestle him so bad, blah, blah." So Hannah just sees him and walks up to him and goes, "Hey, what's up? I'm Andy's girlfriend, blah, blah, blah." Like, he wants to wrestle you, you know, like that. So like,
you're in the LA area.
yeah, and like, you know, just I think I showed her maybe a picture of him. So like he's just sitting at the bar, like helping, you know what I mean? He was like there or whatever, and so Hannah just like walked up to him and just like hung with him,
Yeah.
unbeknownst. You know what I mean? Like they didn't ever meet.
Yeah.
And but she's really friendly, so whatever. So then we like wrestle, get done, blah blah blah. Luckily, you guys were just after us, and then there was intermission. So I got to like go out and hang with her and like watch the rest of the card with her. So yeah, and it was just really weird. She like walked up to Tyler Bateman, so we're like, so we do the thing, whatever, hang out for like 2 seconds. Okay, guys, bye. We go to the hotel room. She literally has to be up at 4:45 to get back to Sacramento for work.
So crazy.
Like she
I know,
literally
she
was,
said that. She said that. Yeah.
and like that girl's just always on the go. Like so, she did that this weekend. Had a couple days of work, but she is a marketing manager for Loring, which is like a coffee roaster company. Like they make the machines that roast coffee, and this week is like the Seattle like coffee expo. It's like the biggest expo in the
I
world.
feel like I should go to an expo like that.
She says it's awesome.
Yeah,
So
I
like,
love
but she has to like literally have like 3 of their machines up. They have like guest roasters coming in to use their machines,
Oh, wow, guest
and then
roasters.
making like, you know, stuff at their booth. And she has to do like presentations and stuff. So she like literally has been on the go since like Tuesday of last week.
Crazy.
So, and she just got there now. So yeah. So then I'm excited. She knows I didn't eat. We didn't eat after either. I couldn't eat. And she was like she like eats like a horse. So like she wanted to eat, I could tell, but she was like, he doesn't have an appetite. So we just went back to the hotel.
Right.
And then like the next morning, like the first thing she loves my like breakfast pictures because it's always like ridiculous.
We ate breakfast at like 1 p.m.
Oh yeah.
It was like 1 or 2 in the
Like
morning.
I just wasn't. I mean, she left at like 4:45. So like, got up. I wanted to take her to the airport, so I was like up, and she's like, "No, I just called an Uber, just like sleep." And I was like, "No, I want to take you to the airport." And she's like, "Don't take me to the airport, just sleep."
Yeah.
So like, I got like 3 hours of sleep, but then I like was nervous she wasn't gonna get on our plane, so I stayed up until she like texted me
that she was bored.
So it was like 7:30 by the time I like got back to sleep, and I slept, and I told you guys like 10:30.
Yeah,
and then
we slept in too.
Yeah,
I
we
didn't
slept
show up
too.
until noon, like or whatever. So
I mean, that's the thing with that place too. The traffic and everything too.
Yeah,
It's
unpredictable.
Not like you're right up the road.
No, but
Yeah.
it's so good because every restaurant has like food we can all eat.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's
Huge.
not like that here.
But yeah, I took a picture of that like ridiculous breakfast, and she was just like, yes, you know. And then you guys start talking about Hannah, and you're like, oh my god, she's gorgeous. Like LDG's like putting her over, and then Jesse just goes, dude, she's so out of your league. And I was like, thanks, man. Like
totally did.
instantly just put my head down, like, cool.
I tried to say it like the funniest
Like a joking
possible.
way, and I was like, man, that just daggered me right in the heart.
I'm not gonna lie, like when you like blurted that out, I was like
I
embarrassed.
put my head down, and I was like,
man, I was like, babe.
I'm working hard.
Like,
Like I know
why
my
would you-
shoulders fucked
Like
up.
of all things, like that's not something you actually say to somebody. Like that's like one of those thoughts you just keep in your mind and you
It's just a
don't.
joke.
Yeah, I know it was a joke.
Just ribbon.
It hit me right in the heart, and I was like,
man.
man, I don't need to
I
hear
was
this
like-
right now.
I was like, jeez, babe.
Like, here we go. I'm just gonna eat this 4 pounds of food now. Hopefully, this goes right
I
to
felt
my
like when I was like laughing before I said it, you kind of knew what I was gonna say anyway.
I 100% knew what you were gonna say.
Just that was awful.
I was like, man.
I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed.
And then like immediately, like of course, like that just hung in my head. So like later on, I had to like talk to Hannah about it. I was like, man, he like said I was like way out of your league.
I didn't know what that did.
Well, I make fun
I
of
feel
myself
like,
a lot.
I feel like you should have like asked me before you said that.
I make fun of myself a lot. So like I guess it's fine. But it was just like, man, like after like a really cool day, I was like, well, we're gonna start the day like this.
Your best friend is just like, shit.
Yeah. Yo, but the worst part is too is like that, and I know you guys knew this. Like as soon as I ate that, I was out.
Yeah.
I was done.
Yeah.
So like I just was like, hey, can you drive, man? I got it. I
Oh, yeah,
can't.
you
I
crashed
can't
right.
drive.
But
and I
you-
literally was
in
like,
the back.
yeah.
Like we got like a good night of sleep at Nate's house. I didn't
Yeah,
even get
literally
much
like
sleep.
comatose. Like
Plus,
I had the mask on, my hood up.
And like
I
you
was
said, I mean,
out.
like you were more nervous than we were the day before.
Yeah.
And like
whole
when
system is just-
when you're like nervous like that, it's like literally like every muscle in your body
Yeah.
is like tense and it's
Yeah.
exhausting for sure.
Well, that was the thing too. It's like it must have happened when I was sleeping, but like I got like a calf strain when I was like
remember that.
sleeping, and like I
Yeah,
woke
yeah.
up and I was like, oh, this isn't working. That's not weird. That's like really
Yeah,
weird. Like I couldn't
yeah.
take a step without like being like, ooh,
That's
that
gotta be
is
from
the
all
worst.
that tension.
That's all it was.
Probably, yeah.
And also traveling when
More
you're
like-
like, I mean, that
Of course.
airplane. I looked over you when we were on the flight, Andy, and you just looked like you
I
were
was
Real
like
uncomfortable.
miserable.
what is it, like can of sardines? Like you were just like, meh,
Yeah.
just mushed in there.
I remember like to embarrass myself at breakfast, like I ordered like all that food, and then like as I was like giving the waitress like the menu, like I'm not used to that because like it's L.A. Like in the back they had this thing called the Mr. Universe, and it was like egg whites and chicken, and I was like, oh shit, and I was like, oh, it's okay, and I just gave it to her, and then we saw my fucking shitty 50-year-old doppelganger.
Oh yeah. There was like Jesse in like 30 years just sitting at the bar
It's fresh off,
enjoying life.
either fresh off the gym or going to the gym.
Yeah,
Oh my
just
God.
like a skin tight, like Under Armour shirt. Like you were like, that guy was probably ripped in the 80s.
Something for me to look forward to.
Yeah, I was used to be in good shape.
Had like a tight around the mouth goatee. Yeah.
He was basically just dressed athletically head to toe.
Yeah. He was ready. He was ready for performance.
Actually, to be honest, like there's probably a good chance he's not even going to the gym today. He just dresses like that.
He just
all the
dresses like that.
Like,
It's
listen,
LA.
It's athleisure, okay?
Yeah.
Athleisure, all right.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, then we had donut friends. I feel like we're just giving them
A rundown
of everything we did. So we had donut friend, and I was like excited to
I
eat
liked
donut friend, but I was also like stuffed to the gills.
You know what, though? I will say
we ate
this.
Donut Friend in like less than 30 minutes.
And I drank a full water. I remember I drank like a full water bottle
did.
on the ride, and I was like,
I'm not gonna lie to you guys though, like I'd been wanting to go there for so long, and I thought it was like just okay. Like there's a vegan donut shop across the border called Beechwood,
yeah.
and it's miles better.
Yeah.
Like they're amazing.
It was the heaviest donut I've ever eaten.
It was very sweet. I don't
Vegan
know.
donuts are like extra sweet.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
when you say Beechwood's better,
Yeah.
I thought they were just. I just found Donut Friend a little underwhelming.
Of
I
course.
guess.
Remember, and then like I'm like, oh, boxed water, and I'm like, I'll get a boxed water, and then you guys are just like, there's just like water right
Free
there. I was
tap
like,
water.
cool.
But you like boxed water. I
Yeah, I don't mind boxed water. Yeah.
did,
So then we walked across the street to a vintage, like amp, like
Yeah.
instrument
That's what I was
place,
gonna talk about. Yeah.
and like I honestly I was like, man, I have like a surgery to pay for, so I can't. I literally, and they had like a snakeskin dual rectifier in there, which is
You
like
were
an amp I love, and I was like,
you were
Yeah, you
jacked.
want-
well,
wanted
and I
to get
walked
out
in, I was like, we got to get out of here
Yeah.
now.
I was gonna
But
talk about Brother from the Germs.
oh, Don Bowles of the Germs, the drummer of the Germs.
Just sitting
Let me
there like-
tell my backstory first.
Yeah.
So like my backstory is like every time I died, did a couple Warped Tours with the Germs. With I can't remember the brother's name. Shane something another. He's an actor, and he played like the Darby Crash character, and I would watch him every day, and I never was like an enormous Germs fan, but like it's cool to see a band that like played with like Black Flag and like stuff like that. You know what I mean? So Black Flag's like being one of my favorites.
Like
Like
that
oh
era.
shit, you know, and like
Yeah.
Pat Smear was there like playing, which is insane. You know what I mean? So I would watch him like every day, and then like Don Bowles would always have these, and I hope I'm thinking that's his name, Don Bowles. So
He's
would
the
wear-
drummer, right?
Yeah, he would wear these like crazy helmets and like these goggles and like have this like crazy garb on like the entire day. And this one, he comes up to me, must have watched Every Time I Die that day, and he's like, oh man, the Germs got to play with Every Time I Die. We got to go on tour together, man. We got to go on tour together. Like, oh, it's going to be awesome, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, let me give you my number. And he just pulls, like nonchalant, and this is like a 50-year-old man, nonchalant pulls a Garbage Pail Kid card out of his pocket, writes his number on it, and then hands it to me. In like 2010.
Yeah. Like cell phones are a prevalent thing.
Okay, yeah, sure. I'll keep this in my wallet. So I had it in my wallet up until about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And never called him. So like when we went into this place, like Don Bowles is in there, and like it's probably his local shop that
it
he's
looked
probably
like-
been going to forever.
It looked like he was like sitting at a bar.
Yeah.
He was
It
just
did
sitting
look like he
there
was talking to a bartender.
chewing the guy's ear off.
And at first, it's kind of like it was just chatter. And you know, like sometimes you walk into a place, it's just chatter. So like you don't really pay attention. It's just like, whoosh. And my eyes were like, oh my god, like seeing. They had probably like 1,500 pedals. I wish I could remember the name of the place. So like if you live in the LA area,
shit.
you
Yeah.
could go to the place.
It's across from Donut Friend.
It's right across from Donut Friend. There you go.
Yeah.
So but they have amazing gear in the place. And I was like, oh man, like, and I'm just like looking. Then I'm like, the chatter just got loud in my head. Like I started paying attention.
Well,
I'm
there
like,
was some like prime words that like
he was
caught
like,
your attention.
he's like, I hate Canada. Canada
That's
sucks.
what perked my ears.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard "I hate Canada," I was
Yeah.
like, nobody hates Canada.
Yeah, LDG
Like,
does not stand for
what?
that.
Yeah, like,
So
I called even some like little things. He was just like I got you backstage. He talked about getting pulled over or something. He's like, I
Yeah.
got you backstage and you drank beers with the band. And
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
he started talking about Canada.
and then it was like, and then he was just like, yeah, they're getting me for statutory rape, but like, I don't know, I got to fuck the girl. Blah, blah, blah. He said something like that, and it was like, my God.
Yeah.
And like that's where I was like walking away. I was like,
Oh boy.
yo, we got to get the fuck out
Yeah,
of
we
here.
gotta
Like,
go.
we
Because
gotta
it was
go.
just us. It was us three, him, and the
I
guy behind the
immediately
counter.
just didn't want him to like turn to us and then like
Right.
start talking and like
Yeah,
old punk dudes from that era too.
Because he
can
seemed
get
like one of
kinda
those
weird.
guys where he would just like look over to you
and then pull you right in.
yeah,
Yeah.
into a statutory rape story.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
oh, cool. And to be fair, I think it was something like a 2-year gap. I don't think it was like him this year, like trying to like get a girl that was like 15. I think
No.
he was telling a story about like
His
when he was like 18 and the girl was like
Yeah.
15.
Yeah,
or
he
something.
was like saying
Definitely
Which still is creepy.
yeah, he was basically saying he had just turned 18 and like something.
Yeah.
So like basically what he's saying is when he goes to Canada, it always gets brought up. And
Yeah.
fucking-
It was a weird conversation to be having very loudly.
Yeah.
In the music
at
store.
like 3 in the afternoon.
The man is like 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you
Like-
said, still wearing like a funny hat.
Dyeing his hair black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if he's wearing that
You
many
can see the
hats,
grays.
If he's wearing that many hats, there's a good chance he's like Crypt Keeper like hair.
Cool. Very
underneath
cool.
that hat.
AKA my dream hair.
I like
I watched the Andre the Giant. I know I'm switching gears. I watched the
I
Andre the
haven't.
Giant. It's awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, we
It
gotta watch
literally is like a beautiful documentary. And
We
like,
gotta watch it.
you know how most like wrestling documentaries, they always kind of pull to like a depressing place.
Yes.
This really shies away from like
I feel
that.
like they probably went there like a little bit because they put it in the
Oh no,
preview.
no, tiny bit. Well,
Yeah.
they talk about his pain and like
Yeah.
how he just hated being big. Like
Yep.
he just wanted for a day. Like, and it's cool because like Tim White's on it, and Tim White was like
He was, like, his good
his
friend.
handler.
Yeah, he was,
he
like,
would
really
like
good
always be with him. And Tim White, even said there were like days where like Andre would be like, I wish I could just be you today.
Yeah,
I wish I could just walk around
for
to be
24
you.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just this like, oh, it's so painful. But
I mean, because it's like, not to cut you off, just to think like, I mean, even like for Big Show and stuff like nowadays, but just, I mean, imagine Andre like back then.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing made.
yeah,
For
and
him.
he refused to get like Big Show went with the pituitary surgery.
Oh,
Like
okay.
early on
Yeah.
in his life, where like Andre said, "No, this is like God's gift. I'm gonna
Yeah.
use it."
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
sweet. I gotta watch it.
It's a beautiful documentary.
figured.
And if you don't like, Andre was like just when I started getting into wrestling, Andre was already like broken.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So like
yeah,
I
same, yeah.
I gotta say that like I never respected his work because at the time there was no like YouTube or
Yeah.
any way to like watch
Yeah.
the good stuff. So it was just him holding dudes in the corner for like
Chopping
a
'em
minute,
and
2
choking
minutes.
'em and yeah.
yeah.
Doing the spot getting tied up in the ropes, which was impressive.
Awesome.
But like you said, the old clips of him in
Insane,
Japan
dude.
and yeah.
Doing drop kicks off the top rope.
Yeah.
Doing flying drop kicks
And
off
like,
the top rope.
it's like it's crazy. Like everyone remembers him being slammed by Hogan. Like watch like Stan Hansen slam him
Yeah.
in Japan or like Harley Race. It was
Dude.
like picture perfect body slam.
Yo, Jerry Lawler talks about how he's like, dude, he would come to Memphis and sell for me. He would sell everything.
Yeah.
He was like, everything I threw at him, he would sell.
Yeah.
And like that dude didn't have to do that at all.
Right.
Like, and then, obviously like later on he didn't like
Yeah,
sell, but
exactly.
like it's a really cool. Like, I wanted to bring this up to Steve Austin too, is that like very few wrestlers achieve that pop culture
Yeah.
Like status.
status.
Yeah.
But like there's like wrestlers, there's not people like at home going like, man, I wish I had a painting of Skinner
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that would be so, I mean, me, yes, Wes, yes.
Exactly, yeah.
Like I would love to have a Steve Kern painting
Exactly.
of Skinner.
Yeah, but like you said, wrestlers across like Flair doing the hip hop video recently. and,
Insane.
like,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's crazy.
Flair, pop culture, Rock, pop culture,
Yeah.
Undertaker.
Steve Austin,
Yeah.
Undertaker.
Yeah.
Andre is like still to this day probably number one
I think
because
it might be number one. yeah.
Shepard Fairey used him as that sticker. The what the hell is Shepard Fairey's?
I was gonna say Princess Bride.
No, like before that, it's like the what the hell is the name of? This is someone's at home just going like just yelling the name.
He was a sticker.
Shepard Fairey has a clothing line,
Yeah.
and Shepard Fairey's like a notorious like street artist, and he would make these stickers of Andre the Giant.
Was it like his whole body or just his head?
Just his head,
Yeah.
and it would say like 7'4",
Yeah.
whatever
Stats or something.
Wait, and then it would say like nobody mess with Andre, whatever. I can't think of it,
Yeah,
and
it's
literally people are listening to this and going
Freaking
like, "You
out.
fucking idiot!"
100%.
Blah blah blah. We played this place in Toronto, and Shepard Fairey was there like the week before doing like an art show, like a week-long art show
Yeah.
for this clothing line. Anyways, yeah. So like he is pop culture, like I mean, like he might have been
He might
the
have one of the
first.
first. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's crazy because like there's not like I wouldn't say Gorgeous George.
I was gonna say maybe Gorgeous George. Yeah.
I wouldn't even put him there though because like he wasn't even like You don't see people like now. I could see like a 15-year-old kid wearing an Andre the Giant shirt.
Yeah.
You don't see like kids wearing like a gorgeous George.
If anything,
shirt.
it's just because like Muhammad Ali stole stuff from him, and like but like you said, as far as crossing over into pop culture, like Andre was bigger.
It was insane, man. Like it like when you see the documentary, you're like, oh my god, like he was used everywhere, man.
Yeah, he was a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, and then like and Princess Bride was like huge.
Yeah.
Enormous. And he was like, at that point in time, that was like, I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to give you, you guys got to watch it. Because like he was really fucked up at that point in time. Like his back was really fucked up.
I saw in the preview the chick talking about having to catch her.
Did they show the Vince McMahon part?
No.
Where like he had a conversation with Vince McMahon and he was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this. And meaning not wrestling, meaning like life.
Oh, fuck.
Because he was in so much pain like after that movie. And it wasn't the movie that did it. It was like previous to that, but he was really fucked up at that movie.
Yeah.
And then Vince McMahon kicked him out, like literally kicked him out of the pin.
Yeah.
On that by like bringing up WrestleMania 3.
Oh, okay.
And like, he got like a back surgery after that, and then like kind of prolonged his career a little bit.
Yeah, because he like teamed with Haku and stuff
for a
after
while.
that, and he did some other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And they talked about how he hated being heel. Like,
oh really?
He loved the fact that like he would get that like adulation,
being like adored. That's
and
pretty
like
sweet.
coming out, but you'd see him and he'd be like, like walking out and like the fire just not being there, like being a heel.
Yeah, I do get it.
After pre, or post WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, you gotta watch.
He hated being a heel after that. That's when he would like just manage like DiBiase and stuff. Okay.
And like that's there's like right now, like going to my shoulder surgery, like just thinking he had like an ankle injury like after WrestleMania 3, which really brought him down. So like he went from like, and they kind of like go through the timeline of just like, okay, he does WrestleMania 3 is like one of the biggest things. Then he goes to like doing a match every once in a while, to like then being a tag team partner, to then being a guy that just is on, like just does an appearance.
Yeah.
And he hated doing the appearances because he wasn't like there to wrestle.
Yeah.
And you probably could tell his body was like broken down.
Yeah.
And he was like 43 at that point in time. And I think he died at 46.
Oh, did okay.
Yeah. So, that's like my thing now is like, I'm like, oh fuck, man, I have a shoulder surgery. And like now it's just like, like I can't wrestle and I have all this time off. So I'm just like, ugh. So like today it just kind of like resonated. Like watching that, I was like, oh, now I'm going to be like, but we do have a sick wrestling match coming up this weekend.
We do. We should have probably dropped that earlier.
Outlaw Wrestling.
Yeah.
Bull James is bringing us in.
Yeah. This Friday in Brooklyn, New York, Outlaw Wrestling. The Butcher and the Blade is our last match before your shoulder surgery. So, and we're taking on the Closers.
Yeah. They have different names as the Closers. But it's Mike Verna, the Man of Steel, and Rex Lawless.
Yes. But it's this Friday. Sorry, I'm trying to look up the date.
I have a really cool thing to tell you after this too.
It's this Friday, April 20th, Brooklyn, New York. If you're in the Brooklyn area, man, come check us out.
Yeah, it's at Our Lady of Mount Caramel. It's Carmel, but Caramel.
Puff's gonna be with us.
Puff is gonna be with us,
cool.
which is gonna be amazing.
Dick Justice
and George Peros. Notorious NHL Violent Gentleman, one of the owners of Violent Gentleman, who's now the player conduct supervisor for the NHL.
Yeah,
hit me up and was like, dude, like I live in New York now. Like me and Tiff are gonna come to the show. So like George Peros is coming to the Brooklyn show to watch me wrestle.
That's awesome.
And it's gonna be amazing.
That's
like there's a cool photo shoot. If you ever just type in Andy Williams, George Peros, me and George did a photo shoot in the alleyway from the They Live fight where we actually fought in this alleyway. And I ate a sausage that like flew out of a window. So there's like a notorious video of me eating a sausage out of a mud puddle in like a dirty alleyway. That I got paid $50 to eat. But yeah, me and George are doing this. Me and George have a really cool photo shoot that took place in that alleyway, and then. But yeah, George is going to be in attendance watching.
That's
awesome. So it's going to be really cool.
Yeah,
he's co-owner of Violent Gentleman.
Yeah, he's like one of the owners. Like he was the one that started it with Hammer and Brian.
Okay, that's super cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Really cool.
I did eventually want to like. A lot of the reason I wanted you to come on too is talk about Demon Bunny because I've brought it up on here just like a couple.
Oh
times.
yeah. I should probably talk about that.
Yeah, but you and Rosemary.
Yeah. We have like a. I don't know know if we should say it's like a tag team because we haven't officially tagged
Yeah,
yet.
you did a little bit on Impact.
We did a little bit on Impact, but we we started a business together, and it's called Demon Bunny.
Someone like who came? Do you remember who made the original drawing? Was it Sam Shaw?
Let me think here. No, the original artwork for our T-shirt. No, it wasn't Sam Shaw. It was he actually now does all of our artwork.
Yeah.
And I have his Twitter handle that I will, once I pull up here, I can tell you his exact Twitter handle. But so we have a website. It's www.demonxbunny.com, and we have all our merchandise on there. And then we also are launching, well, I don't know if I can even talk about it, but I guess I should. We're launching a comic book series, and Sam Shaw is actually going to be illustrating it.
And then what do you guys have so far? You got like 2 or 3 shirts.
Yeah, no, we have, oh my gosh, yeah. So we have our original Demon Bunny shirt. It comes in a hoodie as well. We have a t-shirt, another t-shirt. We have my t-shirt, an Allie t-shirt, Rosemary t-shirt. We have tumblers. We have coffee mugs,
I like the hats.
hats.
There's a lot of pictures of me
toques.
wearing the beanies. You got the trucker hats and you got the, well, Canadians say toques.
Yeah,
or winter hats.
Yeah, our
They're
toques.
nice winter hat beanies.
And so the guy that does all of our designs, his name is Val, and it's at XMALOVIDAX. He's an amazing artist. He does all of our stuff. But yeah, we have like all this stuff that we're launching. We're launching a YouTube channel. It's been really, really fun and exciting. And it is wrestling related, but it's also kind of like our own little thing that we have going on.
Almost like what we were talking about, more like pop culture related.
It is, yeah, and like we work with another 2 silent, I guess, partners. But one, his name is Tony, and he's helped us so much. And I'm actually doing the Day of the Dead Comic-Con.
Cool.
And we have our own like Demon Bunny table.
Yeah.
Which is kind of exciting. But like our biggest goals, I think that we've all set up for is Hot Topic and Funko Pops. That's really, really what we want to do.
Yeah.
And get there. So, and I think we can.
I think you can too.
I think Demon Bunny can get there.
I've brought up good brother Tony on the podcast
He's
before.
amazing. He's if you ever follow the Demon Bunny socials, he's maintenance.
I mean, basically like he handles a lot of merch for Impact, but he's kind of like, I mean,
he's a jack of all trades.
Yeah, he's a jack of all trades. That's what I was looking for. And he's like horror, like loves dogs, loves horror movies, loves wrestling. He's an old hardcore guy from like Cleveland, Chicago areas, so it's like he's the easiest guy to talk to in the world.
Cool. He's the best.
He's fucking great.
What's his last name?
I don't know how to pronounce it because with an L.
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna try because I'm gonna butcher.
On Twitter,
it's
like at Anthony something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also like now he's like a good brother down in Nashville, and
He's the best.
Does a lot of indies down there. And he's a great dude, man.
Yeah, he is.
I'm trying to think of the first.
And he's.
I was thinking about it today. One of the first times he popped me, like when I just first started working there, something about like a T-shirt or something like that. And he was like, yeah, here you go. He's like, I don't even think he asked me what size I wore or whatever. And he's like, yeah, here you go, man. Large for the house shows, medium for TV. I know how it goes.
Yeah, he is.
Whoa.
He is.
That's awesome.
He is seriously the best. Like we've sat in bars together, drinking, and like I'm on the floor laughing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's so good, and he's so like.
Yeah, does tons of like good like Ricky Morton impersonations.
Oh my God.
He's the best.
Very good.
His stories are fantastic. But yeah, so he's part of our business, and he's awesome to work with. So yeah,
That's great.
it's exciting.
I was trying to think. We talked about movies on here last time, but we've seen something since then.
We saw.
Well, we just went and saw Isle of Dogs yesterday.
Isle of Dogs.
Yeah.
Do you
Was there
know that
something else,
Isle
too?
of Dogs is I love dogs?
What do you mean?
I love dogs. Isle of Dogs.
Like, because it sounds like it, or
I love dogs.
yeah,
Isle of Dogs.
Okay.
Like that's why it's called that.
Okay, I didn't know.
How
if there
cool
was
is that?
It is pretty cool. I was trying to think if it was that basic or if there was like more to it.
Yeah. No. But that's like, yeah, like it's a movie about dogs, and like if you haven't seen, like, I always say it this way: watch Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah, she's seen Mr. Fox.
Oh, I loved
first.
it.
You're
great.
you'll love Isle of Dogs.
I thought that movie was awesome. It's like claymation. Is that what they call it?
Yeah,
Sort
yeah.
of?
Well,
or like stop.
Yeah,
animation?
it's stop animation.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
But, like, they
George
look-
Clooney's the voice of the
Yeah.
fox.
It
Yeah,
almost looks like all the characters in this movie are squeak toys. Like all the humans,
See,
they
but
look like squeak toys.
You didn't love it. You said it was just okay.
I didn't say that.
You did.
No, I said it's like it's Wes Anderson, so it's like different.
I loved it. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, like I didn't love it like you did.
Yeah.
But like it's definitely good.
But I feel
Yeah.
like Andy, and I've said this before,
Yeah.
Andy loves like literally every movie. Like we saw Mother, and I thought it wasn't my thing. And
Yeah.
anyways, I think the whole entire theater went like, what the F was that? And I look over at Andy and he's like, oh, it was pretty good.
Well,
And then I realized at that point, Andy likes all movies.
I can tell you probably the movies I hate. I can probably just tell you about the movies I'm just not into.
Yeah.
Like that Mother I liked because I think I got the scoop of it right away. Like I think I understood
Where it was
Yeah.
going.
where it was going like right away and how that movie was supposed to be adapted off the Bible or like
I feel like we saw Zootopia together.
Yeah, we did.
probably,
And I
yeah.
and I feel like
Zootopia was
at
awesome.
that point I realized that we probably like the same
I
types
like-
of movies because we both had like tears in our eyes.
The reason why I'm always gonna be swayed towards the good side when I go see a movie because I
Right.
like the whole. I enjoy the whole like parking,
The movie-going
like getting
experience.
up,
Oh, yeah.
walking
Like
into a
it.
theater,
Yes, yeah.
like buying my
Yeah.
ticket, like getting a snack.
Yeah,
like
it is.
going
It is a
through-
good experience.
Yeah, like I
Definitely.
love the fact of like sitting down and it's like, it's not watching a movie on your phone or your computer
Yeah.
or like just even that sitting up. There's no distraction. You're just sitting.
That's
agree.
my favorite part.
Yeah.
And like watching and like it's not about you at that point, it's about the movie.
Yeah.
And I like that feeling. And it's weird because like I used to always talk about this where I always have sound going into my fucking head. Do you know what I mean? We all do. But like
Yeah.
me, I have it at high volumes
Like
all
your
the
brain's
time.
always going.
Yeah, and it's just like then we were talking about I don't know who we were with. It was Steve Austin. Sorry, it was with Steve Austin we were talking about. How like when I'm in a room full of chatter, I can't concentrate. Like
Yeah.
it just I don't think I'm like hard of hearing, but like that distraction is like hard, and
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
too
hear
much.
it. Just like, and I can almost hear people at like a loud concert better than I can hear
When there's chatter
like
in the
a
background.
full restaurant of people like talking. And I used to always talk about like someone would be like, oh, what's your favorite like song? I'm like, I don't really have a song. My favorite sound is like when I'm underwater. And it's just because there's nothing.
Yeah.
Like you're underwater and you
Yeah.
just faintly hear things. And
Yeah.
it's like so nice because
best.
it's just you stop and like it's not about
Right.
you. It's about just being underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like the movies are kind of like that where it kind of takes all your sensory away.
Yeah, and you're just
and it's just
focusing on
like
this one
focusing
thing.
on the movie.
Yeah,
That's what-
I could definitely see that.
Me and Hurt started doing that not that long ago. Like, a lot of times if we watch a movie at home now, like
Just
we
turn your phone
turn
off.
our phones
Yeah,
off.
we
'cause
put it in airplane mode.
we would
yeah.
always,
Good.
we'd like, hey, want to watch a movie? Yeah. And then like in 5 minutes, like she's on her laptop, I'm on my phone, and
Well,
like,
it's,
we're not really paying
it's like
attention.
sensory overload, I think,
Yeah.
all the time, you know?
Well, that was I Love Dogs. I got like 5 text messages right away. Like
Yeah.
right as soon as I sat down, I was like, oh, and they were all 5 that I had to like.
You had to actually.
I had to take.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, come on, man.
And,
you know?
and that's the thing, because we're getting emails, we're getting social media stuff, we're getting text messages, phone calls. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
and it comes all the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're absolutely right. Like, going into a movie theater and forcing yourself to turn everything off and just give your attention to one thing.
Yeah.
It can be, like, pretty therapeutic.
Well, that's like when I was I sent everybody a text message like kind of when I knew that like my brain is definitely going to go into fucking overload once I'm not allowed to do anything physical.
Yeah.
So I just text like all the boys and I was like, hey man, I'm going to do this fucking nature walk every day.
Yeah.
Every single day. I'm going to go to the gorge. I'm going to do 400 stairs down. I'm going to do a 2.5 mile walk, 400 stairs up, 2.5 mile walk. I'm going to do
Yeah.
it every day.
Yeah.
Just to get away from my brain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
no,
that way.
I can definitely empathize with that for sure.
And
Plus,
like-
even just getting in like the fresh air and stuff like that.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And
yeah.
trees and shit does a
Yeah.
lot.
Again, look up this thing. There's a thing called box life. There's an article, I think when you type in box life mentality, Matt Vincent like always talked about it. He's the guy that kind of like turned me on to it, where everything that we do is inside of a square.
Yeah.
Everything you look at
Like
is
right-
inside of a square.
Right now, we're in a square
Yeah.
room looking at a square computer.
When you look at your phone, it's a square. You know what I mean? Like everything is a square, and just getting away from that like box for
Yeah.
10 minutes a day is supposed to be super beneficial for
yeah.
your brain.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like especially first thing in the morning.
yeah, and I think that's going to be my whole kick on this this like recovery thing is like it started with my 15-minute walk like in the morning or whatever, where it's just go out, clear my head,
like creating that habit.
Yeah, and just like get out in the air, and then with this, just do it in the morning. Like do it like first thing in the morning. It's like 8 o'clock. Boom! I'm down at the whirlpool and just like go. If you're in the Buffalo area, you want to do a walk with me every day around 8 in the morning. I'm gonna do these walks.
I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah,
my surgery happens.
Idea. I think too, because I mean, like, and we've talked about this too. Like when you are somebody that's constantly in your own brain, and I mean, I'm like that too. I have a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress and a lot of pressure, like 24/7, and a lot of it I create for myself.
Of course.
But if I don't have the outlet of exercise or just being productive, like it's just a dark place that my mind goes to. So I think, like, you know, planning something out where you're able to get outside and do that is like so beneficial.
I think that's the thing too, is like when the motor's running, you're like paying bills. You're like, you know what I mean? Like it's like that. When the motor's not running, you think that stuff builds up. You're like, oh shit, I have like these 10 bills that I have to pay, and I have this, and I have that. Or like
the to-do lists aren't happening. You know, like I write a list of shit that I do every single day, and if I'm not hitting off those to-dos, it's like,
and it's not even like,
it's like the sky is falling.
Like even if you have money in the bank, you know what I mean? And you're not worrying about finances.
Yeah.
You're worrying about finances where it's like, oh shit, I have these like bills to pay, and like, well, and then it's like, if you don't hit it that day, it's like, man, I owe $65 for my like right now I just got a bill for like $65 to like re-register my car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, I got to do that.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it today.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? The motor wasn't running today.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that. I wasn't like, the car wasn't on.
Yeah.
I was just in idle today.
Yeah.
You know? And that's my thing, is like, I know that like everything's going to slow down once this happens.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I got to keep the motor going. You know what I mean? I got to keep the engine on and go.
Plus, you will though. You will.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I think it's just the whole thing of too, like, plus, like, you know, like if you get in the habit of like waking up every day and going for the walk, and it just gets you, I can't think of the word I'm looking for. It gets you in like a repetition or whatever. Like, you know, it's just, that's just good for your brain, as opposed
kind
to
of
just,
a schedule.
Yeah.
As opposed to just waking up and not having anything to do all day. And
because
I mean, you know,
that is very depressing.
You do need to rest, obviously, but like, you know what I mean? If like you literally waking up with just a blank slate, it's like, fuck, like,
yeah, of course.
And if when you're injured too, and you're sitting at home, whatever, like not having anything to do.
My go-tos are gone.
Especially for somebody that is like so go, like that can really force you into a state of depression. And I think like it's so important to avoid that by creating like he's saying, like a schedule, like something to do. And it's something to look forward to as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like my go-tos are gone. Like I can't go to the gym like I want to. I can't play guitar. You know what I mean? Like I want to.
Like the things that you use as outlets are actually taken from you, which is almost
as that
like
sounds. That's a huge deal.
But it's almost like a challenge too. Like
big time.
I feel like you can even look at it like that. Like it's a challenge that you now have to sort of like figure out.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is like great. And that's like the one thing me and Jesse started talking, like I brought up to him, is like Jesse Burdick now does he does like these 24-hour video podcasts. Where like he'll have someone on, it's just on for 24 hours. I mean, that's it. It doesn't have to be 24 hours. It's just like, it could be a 25-minute podcast with a guy, and you do it live on Instagram Live.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
So like you can just, hey man, let's meet up at this point in time. You just say, hey, tomorrow we're gonna have Colca Man on for 25 minutes, and it's only up for 24 hours.
Oh,
it's like I kind of want to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where like when it's like if me and Jesse are just out eating, you know, we get like Chipotle or something like that, and then it's like, yo, let's just like go over here.
Instagram Live, yeah.
Let's Instagram Live.
Absolutely.
So and so, like, hey, where are you at today?
Yeah.
You know, Gregory Iron.
Yeah.
Where are you?
You gotta call him Gregory Irons on the podcast.
Yeah, I was nervous.
Stone Cold's podcast.
Yeah.
No, I think that's cool. I think that's really great.
Where are you? Let's do like a 20-minute thing. Like, you know, you're working tonight. Where are you at? Oh, you know, I'm in.
It's a good like.
It's
it's also
smart.
like a creative outlet, I think, too, because you're a very creative person, especially with like your music. So.
Yeah, and try to just do it, and then even do like, hey guys, we're gonna be on for 25 minutes, let's do some questions. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
we're,
All the
asking
questions
them,
in there, too.
Where it's like, hey, there's Kickin Ass. Like, you know, we got to create an Instagram. By the way.
Instagram.
Yeah, you guys do. You
Yeah.
really do.
For sure.
And like do them when we're together, and then that way the podcast is going 7 days a week or 5 days a
Right.
week or
Yeah.
6 days
Yeah.
a week.
Yeah.
As opposed to the one big
The
episode
one
on
day.
Thursday.
And it's not just a big, you know, it's just 20 minutes, you know, like, hey, can we take 20 minutes of your time? Hey,
Yeah.
we're going to hit you up. This week we're going to do questions about this one movie. We both just watched this movie. Does anyone want to talk about it? Like,
Yeah.
let's discuss it.
Yeah,
You know what
like
I mean?
you said, I mean, we could grab anybody at a show and do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's
You know?
cool. I like that.
Like you said, I think that'll be good for your brain too to get you out. Like obviously, you know, you need to like not travel for a little bit probably with your sling gimmick.
Yeah,
we'll
just
get-
make
we'll
sure
get-
you're
we'll get-
careful,
we'll get
but
you out there.
Yeah.
there.
But I mean, I brought it up to you. I was like, you know, now that we have like a good travel rig,
Yeah.
it's like if you guys are going to Smash, I'm going to Smash, and I'll set it up, and I'll just set everything. I'll just do the work where it's like, hey man, can we pull you over
Literally,
here
yeah, just grab
for a
it.
little bit?
Yep. I mean, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like that's the thing. We have so many dudes in Canada that like listen to the podcast. That like one of my favorite wrestlers on the earth is Josh Alexander.
Yeah.
And the fact that he like listens to the podcast
Yeah,
to me
loves it.
is mind blowing to me because I really really enjoy that guy's work.
Yep.
So like at some point in time it'd be like it would be awesome to like, well, we're going to Smash. We know that there's like weirdness between you and Smash. So like let's pull over in Hamilton.
Yeah.
We'll set up,
Get brother on the
get you
podcast.
on, and we'll do it where it's like not just Smash centric.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
that, you know, because there's so many dudes in Canada, and there's so many dudes like that Outlaw show. I mean, this is me speaking completely like wildly, but like to get Mikey Whipwreck on
Yeah.
for like, dude, can we get 20 minutes?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That
And just
shouldn't be a
get the
problem.
interview, and then like when we come back here, it's like, Kev, can you just throw this interview
group.
like in there? And we'll do an intro, we'll do an outro, and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
It's a really good idea.
it would be insane.
We should 100% do that.
Off the air, I have to tell you about something that I got hit up with by today because someone wants us to come do an interview on the Friday,
Okay.
so we might have to leave early.
Oh yeah,
Like,
well, we
real
were going
early.
to drive up Friday anyways though.
But we might have to leave like early.
Okay. Well, Dick said he's off all day too. so-
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And now it's really cool.
Okay. We'll talk. We'll talk about.
Okay,
that
we'll
off.
talk after. Yeah, it has to do with a guy that used to go ba 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 ba.
You can't start giving me like hints now. I'm gonna
Yeah, I can. Earlier, I was like, dude, don't listen to this song. You're like, oh man, it's the X Factor. Damn it. It could be anybody.
Yeah.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
Oh,
No, it's not. It's not Bubba the Love Sponge.
that did nothing for me.
Yeah.
But
Really?
it's not Bubba the.
What I'm doing right now, I'm stuttering and saying Bubba, Bubba, Bubba,
Oh,
Bubba.
Bully Ray, Bubba Ray.
Yeah.
He hit you up.
Yeah.
What did he
Him
say?
and his other like his
Oh, for
his
the
dude
Busted
that-
Open Radio.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
they want to do an interview
Oh,
on Friday
yeah.
if you're into that.
I'm
If we
really
can
into
get up,
that.
it's got to be in my email now because I sent it to him probably around 6
Okay.
and said like, yeah, but we're coming up Friday. I just don't know what time.
Fuck. I think he does it like early in the morning.
I think it airs early in the morning.
Okay, because
Yeah.
because Dreamer fills in once in a while.
Yeah.
I always think I feel like I always hear about him like driving to the studio like early in the morning.
Really? I think because what it sounded like is they air it in the morning, but
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I was just knowing what time we're driving up that day, so I don't
Yeah.
know what time we're gonna be there.
Okay,
So
Gotcha.
it would be cool to be on that.
yeah, that'd be super cool.
Yeah.
And like for us, like it's always he would know who she is because like
Yeah.
girls are so few and far between in wrestling, and it's like
Yeah.
I feel like I have that relationship with him where like he knows me, but he doesn't know my name. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So if you're like, oh yeah, so and so's coming with me, he probably have no idea who the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
I'll show up and he'll be like, oh yeah, like I know.
Oh,
you
brother.
Yeah, you're in TNA. Okay. Like yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Brother, what's up, man?
Brother
What's
from
going on?
TNA's
Yeah,
here. Okay.
hey, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Where's your wife? Okay.
Like this weekend we worked Smash and I wasn't supposed to be on the card, and
Yeah,
then
we
we got
should
like an
probably talk
ice
about
storm, and there were like literally 8 people had to cancel. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
real quick. We got back from California, and Buffalo just got destroyed with an ice storm.
An ice,
Yeah,
my whole car was a sheet of ice.
I got a shitty cold now from
It's
fucking
depressing.
change of weather. Yeah, it
Yeah,
sucks.
it's
But yeah, more props to Andy. He drove up to. Flew home from California, red eye Saturday morning, and then Smash Wrestling in Toronto on Sunday. And Andy drove up to Toronto in a fucking horrible fucking ice storm.
Ice storm.
I do
Yeah.
shit. Remind me to get back to the ice storm, but I was gonna say this before too. Like, just do you think this way? Like, you know, I don't think I travel that much. A lot of people think that like I do, but like we just said, like Joey Ryan's schedule, like ran his own show Thursday, flew to Chicago Friday, Dallas Saturday,
Yeah.
and Toronto Sunday. So it's like I just like dude, I don't do shit compared to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I just, it makes me feel like and then over the weekend when I'm like, man, I'm fucking tired.
Yeah.
And then I just think about Joey.
I think
and I'm
you
like,
just
I
get-
can't even fucking complain.
You just get conditioned.
conditioned to it. Yeah.
Joey seems like he's really good at it too, though. Like
Yeah.
like the way, because I mean, when we got there, call was like 2. I think we got there at like 2:30.
Yeah.
And Joey's like, oh yeah, I got here at like 11. I got some food. He was like drinking a coffee,
And like I said,
reading a book.
he was more chill at that show than he was at his
Extremely,
own show.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like you said, I mean, I like to think that like, you know, Joey's worked hard for a long time to be traveling as much as
course.
he is now, and he still hustles and books all that stuff himself.
For sure.
So he's just, I mean, I think he's just happy what he's doing and not
course.
fucking working at a factory. You know
Just
what I mean?
does it really well, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not frantic. It's not like he like showed up and was like, oh my god, or sleeping in the corner.
Yeah.
Which like is fine. I do that all the time. Like
Yeah.
with the band stuff, it's like, oh my god, I drove all night. I'm just gonna sleep in this corner.
Yep.
Or like it seems like he's just like,
was
yep,
great.
I'm not gonna party. I'm just gonna go to sleep. Thank you. I got to work tomorrow in Chicago.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and like
Flying
maybe
from
he can
Dallas to
sleep on
Toronto.
planes too. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not good at
Yeah.
that at
That was
all.
the bummer for me was I usually show off about how I can sleep on planes, but I didn't sleep
Yo.
on that red eye at home at all.
Was La Tabernacle supposed to be on the show?
I don't think so.
Okay, so
Nash Brothers were. but
It was
they
just Uno, Dos,
didn't. Stu, Uno, and Frankie.
and Frankie got
basically like I think they did C4 the night before, and they just told Seb like,
Yeah.
we can't drive down in the ice storm. I'm
and
sorry.
then Riddle's flight got canceled.
yeah, and I guess to his credit, I guess he
Tried to get
yeah
to
he
Buffalo.
he sat in an airport for 7 hours trying to get to Buffalo, and then that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Brent,
So, like-
Brent Banks was super late, and he lives in Toronto.
Yeah.
I was like,
I mean, it was a bad
the
ice
big
storm.
rib.
No,
Like, literally-
it was terrible weather.
when we left the house, like all 3 of our cars, us, Gregory Irons,
Yeah.
like all 3 of our cars were just like the entire car was just covered in like
A sheet of
thick
ice.
sheet of ice. But like, see, like when you were like knocking the ice off the car,
I was so excited.
You were like a 10-year-old kid.
Yeah, it was
It's
so
like,
happy.
look, I put it over for a second, then I walked away, and he's like, "Oh, I mean, look at this, man."
Well,
He's like knocking off the ice off
Jesse
the
had
cars.
like a complete day and a night in the ice. Where my car, I drove the night before because Gregory Iron. Gregory Iron.
She said that as a show.
Oh my god.
Gregory Iron worked in Rochester the night before.
Wait, he stayed at our house.
Stayed at Jesse's,
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't really get to see him all that much, so I just went. I was out eating with Wes, and then I was at Wes's house watching like
Hockey, you
like
said.
hockey and UFC, and then like was like, I'll just go grab my shit, go over there. So my car was like not covered in
I'm
ice.
not gonna lie
that
to you.
much.
When I got up in the morning and I saw you, like I saw something in my
Yeah.
living room, I was like, "What? Who
Yeah.
is that?" I literally like walked
Yeah.
out and I was like, and then I like walked back in and I was like, "Jess," I'm like, "There are more people in our apartment.
Yeah.
Like, who is here?" And then he said it was you. I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah. So
But you're
that-
a very large man, Andy.
Yeah.
It's just this large man on my floor. Or you were on the floor?
Yeah, I
right?
was on the floor.
Yeah. Like, what is this?
Yeah. So then I was like, I don't know. Like his car was like literally covered in ice. It was like we get out, we pop the trunk. And when I popped the trunk, it just went and just shattered. And I was like,
There was like
And,
these
like,
huge slabs
oh, it
of
was
ice
so
just coming
cool.
Yeah,
out.
the whole car was.
I was like, we don't even have to scrape it. It's just coming right off. I was like amazed. And then I look at my car and like the only thing that was like ice was the windshield. So I was like, screw it, I'll drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we drove up and then like usually Seb and James Key, the 2 guys. Well, there's 3 people that run Smash.
Yeah.
2 of them are very interactive and 1 isn't.
Yeah.
Which is Alan because
Yeah.
he's so busy.
He's a computer guy. Yeah.
And like I walk in and the first thing he just looks at me and goes, "Do you have your gear?" Like right away. Like I mean I go through and he's like, "Do you have your gear with you?"
From Alan, that's very strange.
And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And then like Seb's like, oh, he's like, "Dude, the card's like full right now, blah blah."
Yeah.
And then like somehow me and Puff, Funk and Hostile, get thrown on this show.
Tear the world apart.
Yeah, against Anthony Nicometti, which I'm on like a 4 or 5 match
streak. Yeah.
Feud with him at this point.
You guys have your own feud going.
Yeah, we have our own feud no one knows about.
Yeah, and then French brother.
And then brother.
Yeah.
And we just were like, we don't know this dude. Like,
Do you know that guy that wrestled didn't speak English, like barely at all?
Yeah, Kevin Blanchard.
He's from Montreal, right?
Yeah, super stoked on him. Like, he was really easy to work with. He's a kicky dude, which I wish I would have known going into, because like we could have called the match, but he knew 0 English.
Yeah.
So like calling a match with him was like, oh man, we have to keep grabbing Seb, but Seb kept calling. You know, him and Tarek wrestled for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And like, so he's calling that match, and we're like, Seb, you got to come over here, man. We got to like, come on, like help us.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, Seb told me that when he put you guys in the match, he said like, you know, he doesn't speak English, so
Brother
brother doesn't
Me
speak
and Anthony
English.
were like, let's just call him brother. Okay.
So like Seb said he would be with you guys when you put the stuff together.
Yeah.
But even like, I mean, this isn't like a knock, but did you pick up, like, I don't think Seb's French was that great either.
I don't know.
Like,
I
didn't
know.
even know that Seb could speak French.
I know 0 French. So like,
I had it exempt off my record.
Yeah,
'cause
same
I failed
here.
it like 3 or 4 times.
I didn't even fail. I'm dyslexic, so they're like, this kid's having a hard enough time learning English. Let's just
not
get
do
him
the-
away from that.
not
I
do the other
literally had to
language.
like beg the principal. I was like,
Yeah.
please stop making me take this god awful course.
So, yeah, like, and it was like calling the match, and then like we were talking about like people who are trying to be proactive sometimes can like jam it up. So the whole time Puff is like throwing ideas out. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah. When you got a guy that doesn't speak English, that's a terrible
and
idea.
we're like, oh my god, man, like Puff, like we gotta chill out and like get the basics.
He doesn't understand what you're saying.
Of course.
So, you know, like,
And like it got down, and all the ideas were good. It was just the fact that we were just throwing so many ideas out, and then it's like there's 4 cooks in the kitchen, and 1 cook doesn't speak English.
Yeah.
And like we're just like, okay. And I didn't know what kind of wrestler he was until I talked to Seb, and I was like, what does this guy do? And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, he's like blah blah blah. And then like him and Seb are talking in French, and the only thing me and Anthony keep hearing are power bomb, and he keeps saying that. And I'm looking at brother, and I'm like, I look at Puff, I look at me, and I'm like, that's not happening.
yeah.
Like there's no chance. Like brother's like 5'8" and about 175 pounds.
Yeah, so he's not powerbomb and you were
There's
Puff,
0
like,
power bombs happening unless it's like a sunset power bomb off the top.
Yeah,
or
like you're
whatever
already
like
up on the
that.
top rope or something.
Something, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, let's just do all your kicky shit. And
Yeah.
like blah blah. I never took a 2-foot stomp. Took a 2-foot stomp off the top.
It looks safe.
Oh, it was super safe.
Yeah.
I didn't know though, so like, I just always like when any type of blow happens to your chest,
Yeah.
they tell you to just let all your air out, so
Yeah.
you don't like get the wind knocked out of you.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever taken it before either. I thought it looked like he landed on like your stomach.
He landed right here.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good. It was
Yeah.
fine, but I let this I was like let this air out, and I have the shittiest voice ever. And from yelling that I never yell. So the night before or 2 nights before yelling in that Joey Ryan match, I'd lost my voice.
Yeah.
Or my voice is like gone. I couldn't speak at like a high volume.
Yeah.
So when he landed on my chest, I went, I made this like weird honk. My voice cracked.
Like an air balloon.
And the only after, I went up to him, I was like, oh, great match. Everything was good, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I go, you hear that noise? The you jumped on my chest, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, oh, yeah. Like he gives me the okay sign, and he
Yeah, I
started
totally know
laughing.
what you're talking
But I had
about.
to powder out of the way because Puff was going to the finish there.
Oh, yeah.
And I powdered out of the way. I was laughing too hard because I made that voice. I had to bury my face in the mat and be like, "Oh my god!" I there's people 5 feet away, and they for sure just heard me go, yeah, make this crazy noise.
Was it what was stiffer, that or Puff sitting on your chest?
Puff sitting on my chest was
Yeah.
more stiff, but I mean, yeah, I think that was for
Yeah.
sure. But then again, me and Puff know each other. So
Exactly.
he
Yeah.
knows what I can take,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
fine. You know what I
always
mean?
hit your friends a little bit
Where this
harder.
guy he doesn't know me, so it was
Yeah.
light, but it was definitely it wasn't
I mean,
as
it has
hard
to
as
be. He got really high in the air,
Yeah.
so it's there's got to
Good.
be something there.
Yeah.
Look.
But
I feel like the gimmick is that you keep your knees bent. I don't know.
as you're hitting, you just bend your knees,
Yeah.
so the blow goes, and then you just be back bump or
just
or
roll off
or whatever.
That's what weirds me out. Like giving the move is like, how do you
not kill your ankles?
Yeah, or like how do you like you're not gonna like athletically roll in?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you control your body? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And then me and Puff dance. Like after, I like enjoy like Funkin' Hostiles a really
it's a real thing.
It's a kind of a fun thing. I like after I was like, yo, maybe I should get some like matching gear, like a matching like singlet, like that has like not stars on it, but maybe like the E to the I, and then on the back it just says Butch, and like in the Puff logo, like just for when we do it. You know?
I told Seth with the match, I was like, Andy and Puff are like a really good tag team.
Yeah,
because when you guys did the 6-man, and Sarnia, it was like the two of you together was like great.
Yeah, I really enjoyed
like the
it.
contrast, like of Puff coming out dancing, and you coming out like serious,
angry,
like, yeah, and plus you're friends in real life, so that stuff just always comes across.
Of course,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, and it's like I said, I on the Austin podcast, I put over Danny like big time and said that like how inspiring it is to watch. Be cool. It's cool to be inspired by young people.
By someone younger than you.
And like when I see Puff, he really is in his element wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it's wild that how natural he is. And it's like we always talk about Danny with being natural with athleticism.
Yeah.
Puff is just
natural,
charismatic. I mean, it's out of control.
Because I mean, same thing like we say, like how quickly like Danny and Kevin Blackwood like came along so well. Like Puff has come along in like a separate way. You said to be as comfortable as he is and as good as he is. Like, I mean, I don't even think he hasn't even been wrestling a year yet, has he?
Yeah, he's very comfortable.
Yeah. So he's the same thing. He's coming along the same
natural,
way.
man. It's insane.
Yeah. Natural chemistry.
Kevin Bennett's over here just struggling.
trying
to get out of that rookie phase.
Just trying to get it figured out. Trying to find himself. just got rid of Big Tank Adams.
Yeah. Tank Adams works. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah,
anything else you want to talk about, LDG?
Talking about that great name I've got.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Kind of like it.
It's pretty good.
When I get my when I get friendship tattoos, it's gonna be like Pepper and LDG. It's gonna be a hot pepper with LDG under it.
Oh gosh.
Fuck yeah, man.
A spicy pepperoni stick, LDG written on it.
Oh my god.
I guess one more time. Check out Demon Bunny.
Demon Bunny.
Allie's new LLC.
DemonXBunny.com. And then this weekend I'm flying to Orlando. I've got pay-per-view on Sunday. It's Redemption. It's our return to pay-per-view. And then we're shooting Impact. I'll be in Orlando shooting Impact all week. I think our last day of TV is Thursday.
Is this the Su Young match?
Yeah, this is Su Young. Yeah, on Sunday. Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll Butcher and the Blade will be at Outlaw Wrestling on this coming Friday. Come check us out.
Saturday.
In Brooklyn.
21st.
Oh, we're driving up on Friday. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
On Saturday. I think earlier I said Friday too.
Yeah. So Saturday the 21st.
Sorry, guys.
We'll be there.
Saturday the 21st. Butcher and the Blade. Our last match before Big Man goes under the knife.
Yeah,
so come check us out.
Yeah. The 24th, I'll be at Millwood. Like it's a show booking.
Yeah.
I'll be at Millwood Memorial Hospital somewhere around 11
cap
a.m.
on my head and
if you guys want to come check it out, it's 11 a.m. I'll be doing a signing right after. We did talk about doing a podcast after.
You talked about doing a podcast.
I want to do a podcast, Kevin, Tuesday.
He's real helpful.
Like right after the surgery. What time is it? I have no idea. They tell me the day before, so I'll know.
I told him, I was like, dude, there's a real good chance you're just going to want to sleep. And he was like, no, man.
Because Wes wants to be there too. Wes wants to do a Nitro podcast. So we all watch Nitro on Monday, and then do the podcast after my surgery, so that I have the notes. And then, like, he was like imitating. We had Fo yesterday. And he's just like, "Yeah, it'll be cool." Like, Andy, okay, he's asleep.
Yeah,
he's asleep. Or there's like a good chance because of like me going under. Like, just like, guys, I have to throw up, and then like I can't get up fast enough.
Yeah,
so you might
just have to bring you a bucket.
Hear me throw up in the.
Real nauseous right now, guys.
I never throw up, so like it will be okay.
If you guys got ice chips, that'd be great. That's not all I can take down right now,
guys.
Like, what did you think? Oh, Andy's sleeping.
Like every 10 seconds, I just say a wrestler's name, Supercal.
Young Kevin Bennett. You want to grab Andy's microphone there? He's
Hector Guerrero.
He's out cold.
And like Hector Guerrero wasn't even on this show. Let's do it. I'll let you guys know when it is that Monday. And if we can make it happen, I would love to make that happen.
But
even if it's a couple hours later, we still do it then.
That's how I like it. As long as it's in the same day.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. I guess the whole point of this, though, is definitely check out our 2-part podcast on the Steve Austin Show.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast. It was pretty fucking unreal.
It was cool as hell.
Yeah.
And you can hear us like marking out. And I just hope he enjoyed it.
Yeah, which
I think he did.
I think so.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a 2-parter. I feel good about it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
listen to us have fun, guys.
You want to take it home, LDG?
I bet she doesn't know the catchphrase.
I don't know what the catchphrase
You
is.
can make one up on the spot right now.
This is LDG signing off with the Kickin Ass podcast with Jesse and Andy. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gents.
Heat's in the ring.
Wheat's in the ring. I knew that.
All right, there it is.
Perfect. See you soon.